Let's get nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Welcome into the Fast Lane, where it's 2:02. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Beautiful day outside. Beautiful day yesterday. Weather's real nice.
Shorts weather, baby.
What? Yeah, I guess so.
Shorts.
You're Jamie Rivers, who knocks over his water.
I'm wearing shorts too, Anthony.
Are you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Guess it is shorts weather. Did not get the memo on that. Sorry about that, guys. Jamie, you saw Metallica last night.
I did.
Best song. What was it? What had you out of your seat?
Well, Sad But True.
You know it's sad
Yeah,
but
that
true.
was a good one. There was a couple of them. It's Metallica. It's good.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say overall the show was fine.
Ooh, only fine.
Just fine.
Like a fast lane fine. Like
That's fine. Like, I don't know, Friday was different. Obviously, it was a different set and whatnot. I just felt like the concert itself was kind of swallowed up at the Dome.
That's a big place.
It's a massive venue.
Yeah.
And even though we were fortunate enough to get really good tickets, still felt like we were, really far away from the actual stage. And the stage was like circular, so they're kind of all over the place. And like, I get it, because they want all of the fans to get a glimpse of them or play in front of them and all that. So it's not like there's anything wrong with the show. It was good. It was fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like wowed by it,
Sometimes it's better to see a musical group in that intimate, setting.
Yeah. Well, had they played that at the Enterprise Center, it would have been bumping.
Yeah.
Just because it's more confined, probably maybe a little louder in there, and you feel you feel the energy. It was hard to feel the energy of the band being so far away and spaced out.
That's too bad.
I mean, I had a good time.
Yeah, you enjoyed yourself. It just wasn't. It wasn't what you expected.
Fantastic time. I've seen Metallica before, and the times I've seen them before was better. And it's not on them. I think it's just, it was a weird kind of setup, like one set one night, the other set the other night. We didn't, he didn't get all of the songs.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fine.
Right. Marsh, I know you had a good weekend.
I did. Started off Friday, big Blues win. And then Sunday, man, what happened on Sunday, Anthony?
Wow.
Just a great day.
Right away.
Great day to be a football fan.
I'm surprised you're wearing those colors today, Anthony, quite honly.
Oh, these colors?
Yeah. White, black, and red.
It's mostly Raiders colors.
No, the red makes it something different, Anthony.
Mostly, let's see here.
What colors are the Falcons? Marshy?
Yeah.
Red and black.
That one broke me yesterday. That one broke me. I'm not the irrational fire everybody guy after a loss. I wanted everybody fired yesterday. Joshua Dobbs, let's just start there. He was remarkable, okay?
He didn't even know the plays.
Didn't know the plays.
Did you guys see him?
Played out of his mind.
Did you see him rehearsing his snap count on the sidelines with the whole offensive line?
He's a genius. The guy is literally a rocket scientist, is Joshua Dobbs. That's what he studied at Tennessee. Joshua Dobbs is fun to root for. He was great yesterday. Brian Flores' defense, also excellent when it mattered most, right? Arthur Smith should not have a job.
No.
How many losses like that are you going to... You just played Will Levis. You made him look like Dan Marino. And then Joshua Dobbs, who showed up to the Vikings about an hour ago, you made him look like Randall Cunningham. At what point do you say, hey, thank you for your contributions. I know you're not it. I don't know who can do it, but I know it's not you. You're done. When he lined up at the one, after they got the fumble and they took it to the one, and they're lined up at the 1 yard line, and he goes to Tyler Algier and Jonnu Smith twice, Arthur Blank should have walked down from his owner box to the sidelines and said, I'll call the plays. I figure I could do better to you if I just hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson and get the ball to Kyle Pitts, who you drafted in the top 10. What are we doing? You loved it. Were you the smartest guy in the room?
I loved it.
I know you did, because I'm going to be at Waffle House.
It's one game.
It's one game.
It was a huge game.
It was a huge game.
That could swing everything, too,
It could swing everything, because if name a win for the Falcons from here on out.
I don't know.
If you're the Buccaneers, you got to be. You're the Buccaneers. You're the Texans. The Panthers are bad. Those two teams, though, you got to be embarrassed. I know what C.J. Stroud did yesterday. That was incredible. But you got to be embarrassed. You lost to that team. That's the worst team in the league, not named the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals aren't even trying.
Well, yeah,
And the Cardinals are going to beat you next week.
Desmond Ridder didn't turn the ball over yesterday.
They tried, I'm sure.
On the sidelines.
He was walking out with his water bottle. He fumbled it going onto the field. That was terrible. Congratulations, your Vikings. That's an impressive win.
It was a big win.
For Joshua Dobbs.
I haven't seen you fired up like this in a while.
That one broke me.
About your Falcons, because you had gotten kind of apathetic towards your Falcons.
I had been. You're right. I had been.
Yeah.
And this season, a little glimmer of hope. A little glimmer of hope, because everybody else in the division sucks.
Yeah.
Little glimmer of hope.
And you thought, like, Kaka as the law would take over.
Exactly.
Which I thought he was okay.
He was fine. He threw the one pick that was nasty, though. He threw a Desmond Ridder-like pick.
Yeah.
Backstop. Boom. Right to the defender. As if he was trying to hit him in between the numbers. As if the play was designed for the Vikings DB on that play. Which I wouldn't put Arthur Smith. I wouldn't put it past Arthur Smith to design plays for the opponent at this point, thinking that he's some sort of genius. He'd get here, take the ball, DB. We'll just get a strip fumble there. That's the play.
So when I watch,
What a fool.
When I watch NFL,
I'm only using UPS from here on out, by the way.
when I watch NFL coaches, and whether it's their little coaches shows or their press conference or their weekly breakdown of something, like I'm usually pretty impressed because football is a complicated sport from a schematic standpoint, from plays, the defense and the offense and the chess game that goes on back and forth. I don't get that feeling from Arthur Smith when I watch him in a press conference or an interview. I feel like it's someone who, first of all, is wearing a costume and is absolutely clueless about
Shave
football.
the stash.
Honestly, I think he's clueless. Like, he looks like every time he gets asked a question, like he's hoping that he has the right answer for it. Yet it's questions about his team.
Meanwhile, he acts like he's the smartest guy in the room. Shave the stash, dude. If you're gonna win, you can keep the stash. Get rid of the stash. Stop smelling your own farts. He's up there like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Really? Because you just made Will Levis and Joshua Dobbs look like Hall of Famers the last 2 weeks. That's it. I'm done. I spent too much time. I didn't want to. I wanted to congratulate Marsh on his Vikings winning. But this is what they do to me. And it's my fault, guys. It's my fault. Because I haven't jumped off this crap team.
Should have stayed with the Lions.
I should have stuck with the Lions. That's all I had to do was just continue to praise the Lions, and Jamie would have let me stay on the bandwagon. But no, I gotta stay loyal to my crap
you
bird
screwed that
team.
up. That is on you.
That's what I'm saying. It's
you
my
were
fault.
witness to it.
It's my fault.
You did this to yourself.
What did I just say?
I know, but I want to remind you.
What did I just say?
Wasn't listening.
I'm fired up right now, Jamie. Okay?
Yeah.
I know you'll drop me in 2 seconds, but I might take a swing at you today.
What?
Marsh, get 911 on the phone for me.
Take a swing at me.
Yeah.
Anthony, don't let 2 seconds of stupidity ruin the rest of your life.
Hey, congratulations, by the way, to us. We beat the Rizzuto show again.
Baby.
Dominated their
We
faces.
don't even need the game tonight.
Dominated their faces.
They've got to be internally. They've got to be imploding.
I
heard that they had a closed door meeting following the show today, and that it wasn't pretty.
King Scott and Moon didn't even show up.
Wow.
Yeah. That's fracturing.
Wow. I wonder if their key card worked.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But we beat them in the pickup challenge. I think we're up by 3. Tonight's game doesn't matter.
I think it's 4.
Well,
Are we
we're
up
up
before?
on the week.
Yeah,
I think on the
and
week.
then overall.
Overall, we're 6 and 2.
Overall, we're 6. Yeah, we've won 6. They've won 2.
Yeah.
1 tie thrown in there. But for the week, I think we won 3. Nice job to Marsh. He had 11 points today. He carried us.
It's a great weekend for me.
It was a great weekend overall. He saw his favorite quarterback, Joshua Dobbs, lead his favorite team to victory yesterday. Showed up an hour before the game, got it done. And then watched as his picks all just kept rolling in, baby. One win after another. Now, you might be wondering, who's getting shot this week? We don't know. So tonight's game does matter to 2 people in the fast lane. That would be Kerry Davis and that would be our very own Jamie Rivers.
Yeah.
Those two guys have 8 points. They both have the Chargers, so it comes down to the tiebreaker. Whoever gets ranked lowest tomorrow tonight after the game, that person will receive 2 shots. Because Carey got shot in week 1. Jamie got shot a couple of weeks ago. Yes, last week you got shot, but it was for a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So either Jamie's going to get 2 shots or Carey's going to take 2 shots based on tonight's final.
Guys, we had a text from the 314. You guys know the Blues played 2 games since your last show, right?
Yeah, yeah, we do. We got a 4-hour show.
I was there.
We got a 4-hour show.
Yeah, you were, Marcy. I can hear you guys.
I saw Jamie I saw Jamie in the tanning bed.
Yeah.
You were in the tanning bed?
Well, that's what the the little lights on the side makes me look like I'm in a stand-up tanning booth.
Right.
Which I'm not, although I don't know. Maybe they did put those bulbs in there.
Maybe.
You
look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had a rowdy time, and the Blues look good.
Yeah.
They look real
do.
good.
You know, they got 2 games. They played 2 games since our last show.
They did.
We got
did.
got a 4-hour show. No way we're covering the Blues at all in the 4-hour show that we have. That might be the worst. I'm sorry. That might be the worst. The don't you know guy. The do your homework guy, that's the worst, followed by his cousin, don't you know guy.
All right, Arthur Smith.
Where does charcoal guy come in?
Charcoal guy is
it's the
old uncle. It's the old uncle that comes in. What are you guys doing grilling on the non-charcoal? What are you doing?
You got one of them Blackstones. That's not grilling.
Don't you know? Yeah, I'm pissed off today. All right, let's get into these Blues. Blues win both games at home this weekend in convincing fashion. So what changed? What changed over the weekend? Jamie will break it down next on 101 ESPN.
Do you need to sell your home? Call the best to get that done. The best is Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're a home seller right now, I have good news for you. The market is still in your favor. However, between now and the holidays is the last prime time of the year to sell your home and receive the most money. Gloria says you can't time the market, but you can sell your home in the months that are statistically the most profitable. That's why Gloria is the best. She's got so many great options available for her clients. The one thing that she does have is buyers. Gloria has an exclusive database with thousands of ready buyers that create a higher demand, more traffic, and hopefully multiple offers for your home and get you to the closing table. That's the biggest thing right there. Get you to the closing table and sell your home. So again, call the best. Call Gloria Liu. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Yeah, there's a better flow for sure. I think that's just from playing on your toes and being more aggressive, to be honest with you. You know, not thinking so much, but going, doing your job, you know, being aggressive. There's going to be mistakes, but I'd rather be aggressive.
Head coach Craig Berube following the Blues victories over the weekend. The Blues took down the Devils 4-1, and then the Canadians 6-3. So they scored 10 goals over the weekend after they didn't do much offensively in the prior week. So, Jamie, the number one thing that the Blues did differently over the weekend in those two games than they had done in the previous 8 games?
The way they forechecked. And Craig Berube talking about, you know, being on their toes and whatnot. That's exactly what it was. And you know, having a chance to be right down in the action on Friday, it was awesome. I mean, that New Jersey Devils team is fast. That's a talented, young, fast team. And look, Jack Hughes got injured halfway through the first period, but either way, that's still a young, fast team. And the Blues were forechecking the way they should. And that's the biggest thing for me was their forecheck allowed the forwards to be aggressive. It allowed the defensemen to be aggressive, to hold the zone. And the one thing that has been very noticeable this year with the Blues is the way they're just not giving up their blue line. Even on teams' power plays, they're not giving up their blue line. Where last year was kind of like an invitation to just, you know, here, come on in, enter the zone, we're fine. Not this year. And it's attributed to everybody doing their job that much better. But certainly the forwards coming back and allowing the defensemen to be aggressive. And then the puck decisions on Friday and Saturday, for that matter, were way better. We talk about puck management all the time, to where it was nauseating to talk about it sometimes. But that's why we talk about it, because when you do manage the puck properly and you either support the puck or you put the puck into areas where you can get it back, that's how it creates an advantage for your team. And so I thought the Blues, all of those things were really good. Man, they were physical on Friday, too. I mean, just running around, playing the body out there, and they weren't too tired Saturday from it. Just a really solid weekend of Blues hockey. And then, to your point, they broke out offensively, too, which is fantastic.
You know, I wonder, too, what changes. Because when we talked to Chief last week, he had said that he's looking for the team to have some confidence. And he wasn't saying the team is down, we need to manufacture confidence. He was just saying we played better against the Avs than maybe the final score would indicate. Now we just need some results. And then that confidence will start to come. And that game on Saturday looked like it was a direct byproduct from the success they had the previous night. Like one fed into the other. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like putting in the work, whatever you're doing, right? Whether you're a student and you're putting in the work and all of a sudden something clicks for you, the subject matter clicks, you're in the gym and you're not seeing the results, but you put in the work and all of a sudden you catch a glimpse of yourself in the gym, you're like, or in the mirror, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this works. That's what it looked like on Saturday, where everything came into place and they played complimentary hockey.
Yeah, I agree. And it started on Friday for me with Kevin Hayes.
How so?
Well, because, look, he's a guy that the guys really like in the locker room. He's been a great addition to the group, yet he hadn't done anything really offensively. And you knew he was feeling it. And there's been a lot of criticism that, you know, he hadn't been moving his feet. He hadn't played with pace. He's not creating enough offense. And so for Friday night, which was great, too, and I could see it happening in the moment, and the video and audio, if you don't believe me, you can go back and watch that game. I said they're planning a face-off play here, and Kevin Hayes wins the face-off. They do a little face-off play. They get a one-timer from the point, and he's there with Nick Leddy, and he gets the rebound and scores. And he's like, just like, oh, you can see it on his face, like, yes, like, finally I got my first goal. Mm. It ignited the bench. It was like a weird thing. Like, you know, if you have somebody that you're really close to and you really like and you're pulling for them and they're not having all the success that they want to have, no matter what it is they do in life, and all of a sudden they have a big sale or a big day at the office, or in this particular case, like they score a goal, like everybody gets happy for them. And the energy level just started to spike from there. And then Kevin Hayes had a fantastic game to finish it up. Should have had a hat trick, which let's talk about that for a second. Mm-hmm. He scores the one empty netter, gets back out there with another empty net, misses the net. Everybody's trying to get him the puck to the point where he's too tired to even skate into the open anymore. And Robert Thomas is standing next to the empty net. He puts it in and he's like, man, I'm sorry. Apologizing for scoring a goal, but that's good because
that is good.
That goes back to the whole teammates looking out for each other
and having awareness.
But that Robert Thomas, that gave him 2 goals in 2 games. Mm-hmm. In 2 straight games, and then he goes on to score again the Montreal game. And I know we're going to get into a lot of stuff, but the one thing that I found to be the biggest difference in these last 2 games was a shot-first mentality. Mm-hmm. The Blues put up 35 shots in consecutive games. And we hadn't seen that in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And look at Robert Thomas. He comes in that Montreal game. He comes right down Broadway, and odds are he'd be looking to pass to somebody who was wide open back door a week ago. No. He wristed that thing right up under the bar. It was awesome. It was great. And Jordan Kyrou, he was shot out of a cannon. So go back and think about line construction, too. Everybody wondering, well, did Craig Berube make the right choice of splitting up Kyrou and Thomas? It sure looks like it right now. Kyrou has found a home with Shen and Saad, but they play such straight line hockey that it's forced Kyrou to play north. And when he's doing that, he's using his speed. He's creating all kinds of offense, scoring goals, making plays. That line was going Braden Shen, the captain. He got his first of the season. So I think if nothing else, what the Blues did this weekend is proof to themselves that the defensive structure works, mm-hmm. and it doesn't handicap you offensively.
Right.
Because if you can put up those kind of numbers or those kind of shots on goal in consecutive nights playing this new defensive system, then it's not the system.
Yeah.
It's you figuring out how to play the system properly and then going on offense from there and then creating.
I mean, is there any defensive system that prevents you from scoring?
No.
So that was a bogus narrative.
I hated it, yeah. Anth. I hated it.
But you're all searching, right? There's supposed to be an emphasis on defense. So did they take away some of their, offensive
Craig Berube
looks?
Came in day 1 of training camp and said, hey, guys, listen, I don't want us to score. Mm-hmm. Okay? I want us to defend, and when you get the puck, give it back to the other team.
Right.
Things that Craig Berube never said.
Right. In fact, we're bringing this guy that's going to show you to clear it. Just clear the puck every single time. Yeah.
He's got a great camp.
Yeah,
Check it out.
We'll try to win in the shootout every game. Yeah. So the Blues back in action against let's see here. What do they got? Our schedule is
we got
Jets.
Winnipeg.
Yep, the Jets tomorrow night, pregame at 6 o'clock.
Winnipeg, and then I believe it's Arizona following that. I could be wrong, but either way.
Arizona's got something coming to them.
But my point is that the Blues have a schedule here right now where they can finish out the month in pretty good shape. And they've already worked their way up to
Arizona.
To 4th place in division now. And with a couple of wins, let's say you can string together 2 more wins, all of a sudden this Blues team is sitting at 15 points right behind the Dallas Stars. Mm-hmm. Or tied at that point, but the Dallas Stars, they're going to be in action too, but you're right in the mix.
Yeah.
So that 3rd place Blues team that Doug Armstrong, projected or wants them to be, it's a possibility. They just got to keep going out there and playing like they did on the weekend. It won't always end up in victories, but if they play that way, it'll keep them competitive every night.
That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Mizzou does not pull off the big upset in between the hedges, but
they covered.
They did cover. Yeah, they did cover. When you're looking at Mizzou, the way they played, how close are they to the upper echelon teams in the SEC? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, cheap, fun, fun.
Dirt Cheap is St. Louis's one-stop party shop. They've got great selection of your favorite beers, your wines, your spirits, friendly staff that's going to help you out too. And boy, oh boy, do they have a great selection of bourbons. And why is that important? because right now it is bourbon season. That's right, get a little chilly outside, sit out by the fire pit. Who doesn't love a great bourbon? But who also doesn't love a great deal? That's right, Dirt Cheap knows that they know that better than anyone. That's why they offer a full selection of all their bourbons, from single barrel to high rye to small batch, and they're all at dirt cheap prices. So whatever your taste is, head over to Dirt Cheap. They also have a fantastic app that lets you navigate through their inventory. It highlights certain deals and specials and clubs that you can be a part of, and you can order ahead on the app and even pick it up through the drive-thru. So there's really no excuse but to head over to Dirt Cheap and have a great time with everything that they've got available for you. And remember, have fun, but be careful out there.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues pick up 2 wins over the weekend against the New Jersey Devils and the Montreal Canadiens. A 4-1 victory over the Devils and a 6-3 victory over the Canadiens. The Blues will take on the Jets tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. And you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Also over the weekend, City SC lost to Sporting KC in Game 2 of the first round, 2-1. 4-1, the final score. City SC's season comes to a close. And Georgia defeated Mizzou 30-21 on Saturday. We'll dive into that one coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Miller in motion. Cook rolls right. Oh, he threw it away and it's picked off. That's Stackhouse to the 20. Stackhouse down to the 5. Georgia. Flag is down. Nazir Stackhouse.
So that was the call over the weekend as Georgia defeated Mizzou 30-21. Mizzou had an opportunity to drive the field, get a touchdown, kick the extra point, but perhaps go up late into the fourth quarter. And instead, because of that interception, Georgia kind of took control of the game in the fourth quarter. With Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I thought Mizzou played very well. All things considered, I thought they played very well. They go in between the hedges. They go into Georgia. They did not win. No. Jamie's done. Don't want to talk about it.
Disgusting.
When you look at the game overall, 21 first downs to 21 first downs. Third down efficiency, 5 of 13 for Mizzou, 6 of 13 for Georgia. Total yards, Georgia 385, Mizzou 363. Passing yards, Georgia 254 to Mizzou's 212. Yards per pass, Georgia 7.9, Mizzou 7.1. Mizzou outrushed them 151 to 131. The key is the turnovers. The key is the turnovers. 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions, including the one when Cook he was trying to make a play. You could see it. He didn't initially have it, but he didn't want to take the sack. Somebody's bearing down on him. Mm-hmm. He throws the interception to the lineman. That's a tough one. That's the one that wound up being the backbreaker. But it's 2 turnovers. If you expand it a little bit, Jamie, you're a couple of players off, if you want to look at it that way. Now, I know Brock Bowers is out for Georgia, and he's a dynamic weapon in that passing game. But if you're looking at this game and you're a Mizzou fan, you say, how far off are we from a team that may be number one after this week, after the way Ohio State kind of stubbed their toe a little bit against Rutgers? How far off? You're a couple players. You're about 3 players off. Because the numbers, statistically, you're right there. The 2 turnovers were the backbreaker.
So, best case scenario for Mizzou is you win that game. Mm-hmm. Next best thing is what happened. I mean that. From a program standpoint, like, you just walked into, the schoolyard, and the biggest bully, one of the biggest bullies was standing there, and you went punch for punch with the biggest bully. And you didn't get beat up. You earned the respect of everybody else in the schoolyard. That's what happened. And so when you're recruiting now, when you're Eli Drinkwitz and you're recruiting and you're promoting this great program at Mizzou, and you have something with bite now. Mm-hmm. You were tied 10-all with Georgia at halftime.
Yep.
You end up losing by, 9 points at the end of it. But you were a legit opponent in that game. You weren't a tackling dummy. So I think it speaks volumes as to where the program has come from, where they are now, and where they could potentially be in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I think that, one of the greatest things that they could have right now for their recruiting is the fact that they played Georgia so well. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's not the best case scenario. That would have been winning. Would have been beating the Georgia Bulldogs would have been, the epitome of awesome. But this was great. I've never been so dialed into a game. I'm down at the Enterprise Center, and we're trying to squeeze in things, getting ready for game time. And all the TVs of the Mizzou game on. People are, watching, and it was exciting, man. So from an X's and O's standpoint, I thought the Mizzou Tigers did a fantastic job of matching Georgia, play for play. So much so that, Georgia ends up just kind of killing out the clock at the end of the first half, mm-hmm. giving the ball back to Mizzou because they were like, our offense is in shambles right now. We're better off with the defense on the field. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
That's what you did to one of the best programs, if not the best program in the nation. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot of things to celebrate if you're a Mizzou Tigers fan, and there's a lot of things to look forward to as far as the recruiting and maybe what next year could look like. Never mind 2 years, 3 years, because you lose players and guys move on or whatever the case. But when you look at next year, what is this team capable of?
There's tangible progress now under Eli Drinkwitz. That's what you want to see. And yes, to a large extent, that's defined by wins and losses.
Of course.
But Mizzou has not had one of their classic Mizzou games where they lose to an opponent that the game shouldn't have been that close and they messed around and they wound up losing. They've taken care of business in the games that they should have. You had every opportunity to beat LSU. In fact, you probably should have beat LSU based on how that game unfolded. LSU had better athletes than you did. That was my biggest takeaway. When you look at LSU's offense compared to Mizzou's defense, Mizzou was a step behind when it came to just the athleticism against LSU. I did not feel that way against Georgia. You had athletes that matched. I mean, Schrader with a great game himself. The other thing that I loved was that, and I said this on Friday, Jamie, you don't have to get cute. You don't have to act like the 15-point dog. You don't. You got a good team. Go in there, give it your best, play complimentary football, consider things like field position, don't beat yourself, and have an opportunity to win in the fourth quarter. They did. A couple of missed tackles cost them. And then, of course, the backbreaking interception. That was it. You gave yourself an opportunity in the fourth. That's what I said on Friday.
One of the things that has been, a staple for you is not turning over the ball. And then it's always ironic that something like that ends up being
the thing that
makes you lose.
Sure.
And I feel bad hanging it on Brady Cook like that because, let's be honest, he's had a great year.
Yeah.
He's had a fantastic year. From Boo Birds in the first couple of weeks to where now, he is the Mizzou Tigers. Him and Luther Burden, when you look at those guys, I mean, that's the team.
Yeah.
I know there's lots of other guys, but in college football, you always have your big names. And those are the two guys that are driving this team right now. And, of course, Eli Drinkwitz, everybody's poking fun at him, talking about, get rid of this guy. And now it's like, maybe not. Maybe he knows what he's doing here.
Yeah. I was impressed. It's unfortunate that they wound up losing, but I was impressed. The other takeaway I had, too, was this top, 4 right now in college football. We'll expand it out to let's just include Alabama at 8.
Are you going all the way to 8?
Let's go to 8 because those are the teams that are essentially still in it, right? I think Penn State would say, hey, well, we're still in it too. Well, you're gonna lose to Michigan on Saturday. Ole Miss hanging around. Ole Miss
just hanging around.
Yeah, Ole Miss. I think
I
Ole
don't know
Miss.
what the hell Ole Miss is.
They're a fun team offensively, but they got number 2 Georgia, so they're gonna be a 2-loss team too. Penn State, they've got Michigan, so again, that's where I'm kind of cutting it off at 8. This thing is wide open. It is wide open. Georgia is not the same Georgia as the previous 2 seasons. They're really good, but they're not this unbeatable rebel force like they have been the last couple of years.
No.
Ohio State has got issues offensively outside of Marvin Harrison.
Well, they got issues everywhere right now.
I mean, their defense is still. Are you talking about off the field? Yeah. Well, let's just stay on the field there. Ohio State offensively has had issues all season long. It has been their defense that has won games. It won the Notre Dame game. It won the what was the last game that they played? The Penn State game. It won the Penn State game. That and Marvin Harrison. That's it. Ohio State's going to have a lot of issues with Michigan here in a couple of weeks, I think. Michigan's a better overall team, but if you look at Michigan's schedule, they haven't played anybody. Their wins are against East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana, Michigan State, Purdue. That's a soft-ass schedule. But they got Penn State this weekend in Happy Valley, a competitive Maryland team, and then they wrap it up against Ohio State. So that's Michigan. Florida State, everybody, including myself, is like, I think Florida State's going to get tripped up. No, they won't.
You called them smoke and mirrors, Anthony.
I didn't call. I called the Seattle Seahawks smoke and mirrors, and that one played itself out.
You called Florida State smoke and mirrors.
I didn't call.
We can go back. We'll find the audio.
That's fine. We can do that.
You did it.
Okay.
Just own it.
All right.
I mean, it's Bobby Badass to start the show. Now you won't own that.
I'll own it if I said it.
You said it.
I didn't say
You don't
it.
believe me?
I don't believe you.
Now you
Not on this.
Now he's calling me a liar, Marshy.
I don't think you're a liar.
How much
I
crap
think you
can happen in one
I think you
freaking day?
I think you misremembered, Roger.
When have I ever misremembered anything?
Virtually
Exactly.
every
See,
show.
You can't remember.
Virtually every show.
That's not true.
You haven't been the biggest Florida State fan.
I said I thought they'd get tripped up. I didn't call them smoke and mirrors.
You literally said they're smoke and mirrors.
Get out of here.
We'll let the text line decide.
Fair.
They heard it too.
Hey, Cardinals, you have zero excuses. Zero. To find pitching. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Fellas, stop paying too much for your ED meds, right? The little blue pill, the chewy things. Stop it. Stop that. Head over to the medicine shop in St. Charles, where they are your destination for cheap ED meds. They've got a generic called sildenafil, and they offer that for less than $2 a pill. Boys, $2 a pill. Prescription is required. And if you have any other kind of medicines that you require on a regular basis, the medicine shop in St. Charles has free, discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace. It's a massive help for my schedule when I can't get to the pharmacy. Guess what? The pharmacy comes to me, and it's really appreciated. And if you do need to get in there, go see them. They have a full pharmacy. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. The representatives are fantastic. They're going to answer all of your questions, going to point you in the right direction, whether it's cold and flu or allergies or anything for that matter. The medicine shop in St. Charles, they care about you and they want to help you. So please, again, go visit them in person at their location or visit them online at stcharles.pharmacy. That's stcharles.pharmacy.
we saw over the weekend that Marcus Stroman decided to opt out of his contract with the Cubs, becoming a free agent. Eduardo Rodriguez of the Tigers opted out of his deal with the Tigers, and he became a free agent. And then we saw Yamamoto throw 287 pitches, dominate some faces, and all of them strikes, and in his final game before he becomes a big leaguer. And of course, you look at the current list of free agents that we've talked ad nauseum over. Hey, Cardinals, you have no excuses. You have no excuses not to find quality pitching. I realize that I've been the guy that has said over and over again, they've got to choose you too, and that still stands. But you have a slew of options when it comes to adding starting pitching. You don't have to make a trade to find 3 starters. If you want to keep your precious offense intact, including the 19 reserves that you want to mix in and out, fine. You could do that. You could just go through free agency and rebuild this starting rotation. Are you going to find top-end pitching? Maybe not, but you could put together a competitive rotation. What I'm saying is you may not find an ace, quote-unquote, but you can rebuild the starting pitching and make it very competitive.
Yeah. John Mozeliak, buddy, no excuses. There just isn't. Yeah, like to your point, Marcus Stroman available. Marlins declining Johnny Cueto's option. He's not a stud or an all-star, but guys are available. And you look at just the volume of pitchers that are available. It's actually, and there's guys in every category that you need if you're the Cardinals. Like the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, we'll call it. There's guys available in there that you can afford that would love to be Cardinals. So you can't give me the excuse of, well, they've got to match with me too. They've got to want to come to St. Louis. I get it. Not every guy will want that, but there's enough guys here to say percentages tell me that there are enough guys that will come here.
Yeah.
So when I look at the Cardinals right now, there really is no excuse. There's none. And to even, now it's being reported that there could be even a reunion with Jordan Montgomery because the team had talked to him and Chris Stratton before trading them to Texas, saying, hey, we'd love to have you back. Let's talk in the offseason or whatnot. So there's no excuse. You could go get Aaron Nola, Sonny Gray, Marcus Stroman,
Montgomery.
Like, you're not going to get all of those guys.
Right.
But if you got 2 of those 4 guys, so if it's Nola, Snell, Montgomery, Sonny Gray, and Stroman, let's just pick those 5 guys. If you could get 2 of those guys, you're laughing. You're laughing. And I think it'll be more of the top end guys, and Sonny Gray's a little lower on the salary chart. Yeah. So it'll be like one of those top guys and Sonny Gray, and then I'm going to stand firm with Trevor Bauer. I'm going to go back to that well again. So if you could add that guy too to your mix, along with Michaelis, Matz, and whatever other internal options that you do have, like all of a sudden the Cardinals are not just a playoff team, they're a contender. The way they bang, like the pop that they have in their lineup, and then with the pitching that they could have, I mean, it could be a big turnaround.
Yeah, you got to rebuild the bullpen too. That's not as big of a problem project as the starting pitching. But I saw Joe Kelly and the Dodgers. The Dodgers declined Joe Kelly's option.
Oh, boy, would I bring him here.
In a heartbeat.
God, would I bring him here.
That'd be a fantastic reunion. 1-year deal for Joe Kelly. Put him back in your bullpen.
Your bullpen just got...
With a veteran.
You just got bells.
A veteran that is not going to be on a Brett Cecil-like contract, that could pitch in the back end of your bullpen, that provides that, that clubhouse. Kevin, I'm not calling these 2 guys the same, but like Kevin Hayes when he came in to your locker room, you need those guys. Joe Kelly's one of them guys.
He's a hell of a pitcher too.
Absolutely,
and he's not afraid to dot a guy if need be. Like, he's got some balls. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you don't need offense. You don't. You don't need to add to that mix. It's not like you're going into the offseason saying, well, we need a couple of pitchers and we definitely need a middle of the order bat. Your offense is just fine. If you don't touch the offense, I'm good with it. I'm fine with it. You can add all of your resources, whatever the DeWitts are willing to give in terms of a budget to John Mozeliak. You can add every resource to your pitching. Plus, you acquired a bunch of different things at the deadline. So if you did want to make a trade, you could go that route as well. You could put together a decent package without giving some of your top prospects up.
Well, but you're not. The only way you're making a trade is if you're willing to make it hurt.
Because you got to give up talent to get talent.
You're going to have to do that, and I don't with the crop of pitchers that are available via free agency. I just don't know if you need to make it hurt.
Right.
I just don't think you need to.
I'm just saying it's an option. To go to our point.
Yeah.
The no excuse point. You've got so many different options here. It's not like the free agent list is top heavy, and then you're either basement shopping, you're bargain shopping. I mean, or it's the top of the market, and you got to compete with all the other guys that are trying to spend money. There's top end options. There's mid tier options. There's really good options that are available this offseason. By the way, in case you missed it from earlier, Craig Counsell is no longer the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. Would have been nice to get his ass out of the division. Instead, he goes to the Cubs. So the Cubs dump David Ross. They bring in Craig Counsell. So the Brewers get weaker.
Did they dump David Ross? Because all the reports were like...
They'll reassign him.
They hadn't really fired him yet.
Maybe that's the case, but...
Could he become the bench coach?
Could
you do that?
You could. I doubt he will, though.
Would you do that?
That's weird.
If you're him, would you do that?
Probably not. No.
I don't know.
Because even though Craig Counsell is a better overall manager, wouldn't you be saying, like, oh, okay, I know that this team wanted him over me? As a competitor, I think you
As a competitor,
move on.
But as far as employment is concerned, if you know you didn't have the greatest run as a Cubs manager, teams aren't necessarily knocking at your door.
Right.
You might want to keep the income coming in and build up your portfolio a little bit.
Cubs are going for it. Cubs had
They're going for it. Why did Stroman opt out?
I don't know.
That's weird to me.
Maybe he wanted to be a Cardinal.
He did before. He alluded to something like that a while back. Remember, Marshy, you brought all that up.
Yeah.
Marshy had a tweet from like way back when or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get another one.
From an unverified source, I think.
Probably.
Right? Yeah.
So
one of those Jamie sources.
Shut up.
What's going on with Elon Musk?
He's buying AB.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's a Fast Line on 101 ESPN.
Call it X beer.
Have the new lines invigorated, the Blues. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
if you're Jordan Kyrou or Brandon Saad, who each have one in the game here. Your centerman's got the 2 assists, but everyone is trying to get this captain on the board. Look out, here it is.
He shoots, he scores! Just like that, Joe. Braden Shen. 3rd point of the game, 1st goal of the year. You can leave the piano in the junk heap. He's on the board, and the Blues lead 5-2.
Chris Kerber on the call over the weekend. Brandon Saad scored one of the 6 goals against the Habs. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 3 o'clock, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. So, Jamie, do you think that the new lines have invigorated the Blues?
Well, it looks like they have when you look at the offensive output. What I think it did is it created balance for every single line. So, do I think that Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou will end up on the same line again at some point? Yes. I think that coaches always end up at some point putting their best players together. It's inevitable. But stylistically, for the first, 7 games at the time, they hadn't really formed any kind of real chemistry. Mm-hmm. And so you shuffle the deck a little bit. Braden Shen hadn't scored. Brandon Saad had scored in 1 game, 2 goals, but in 1 game and nothing else. Like, your offense was kind of on life support, so you had to do something to try and fix it. And they did. And I know there were some question marks surrounding Toropchenko playing on that 3rd line with Hayes and Verana, but that's really worked out too. Like, it's forced Kevin Hayes to play with more pace. Mm-hmm. It's not that he doesn't want to play with pace. Sometimes guys, they get into their style of play is to kind of slow things down and see the ice a little better. And but you don't have a team that can do that, at least not right now if you're the Blues. You have a team that has to play straight line hockey, move the puck quickly up the ice, and get in on the attack and certainly get in on the forecheck. We can't do that if you're playing with no pace to your game. And so I think that Toropchenko has added to that line in a very positive way. And actually, at times, on Friday, you didn't know if Kevin Hayes' line or the Sundqvist line was your 3rd line because of the way Craig Berube has been, using those 2 lines. Like, Neighbors playing Sundqvist, I mean, those guys are effective. That's another great line. And I know there were a lot of concerns about dropping Jake Neighbors to the 4th line. I get it. You want your young player to continue to develop and evolve, but he's in the lineup every night. And right now, Jake Neighbors, that's what he needs. He needs to be in the lineup every night, and he's playing with 2 guys that can help create for him out there. All 3 guys are physical. They get in on pucks. They're good on the forecheck. They have sustained offensive zone, time of possession. All of that bodes well towards the development of Jake Neighbors. And so I like that combination. If we start from the top with Booch, Thomas, and Kapanen, how great has Kapanen been? Mm-hmm. Like, I know he's not lighting the lamp left and right, but he's right up there as one of your top scorers on the team. And his speed, I had no idea that he was as fast as he is. And the other night we do a little tracker that follows the players, and he was the fastest guy on the ice. Not by average, but he hit the highest top speed in the entire game, which is like 22 miles an hour he was flying around at. So that kind of caught me off guard, but he's a perfect guy for Thomas. He's a very straight line player, lots of speed, and it's forced Robert Thomas to play a more direct game. Captain's got 5 points in 10 games. It's not bad. 40, 45-point season for a guy like Kasperi Kapanen, where you found him in the waivers, in the waiver pile. So that's pretty good. And then again, watching Brandon Saad, Braden Shen, and Jordan Kyrou, continue to develop this chemistry. I mean, Kyrou was everywhere the other night. We had some people talk about he looks like Nathan McKinnon. I was like, okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit here, but I get it. But that's what he's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. You watch Jordan Kyrou the other night, and that's what gets you is you're looking at a guy that skates so fast. He's so skilled. He has the opportunity to make great plays. But you know what he's not doing? He's not overcomplicating it. Like, for the first 6-7 games, I'm like, dude, just shoot the puck.
Yeah.
One more pass all the time, the drop pass, the sauce pass, the backhand flip pass. No. You don't need to, because you create on your own as it is. So I think the line combinations have certainly given this group a jolt, and the numbers bear it out.
Having said that, though, Jamie, everything that you said in the second segment that we did today, that's what matters. I think we get caught up in the line combinations. We get caught up in the lineups for baseball. We get caught up in the play calling for football. But when it really boils down to it, the thing that you mentioned when I asked you what was different about those 2 games over the weekend compared to the previous 8 games, the number one thing you said was the forecheck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter who's – and I get that. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. It does matter because sometimes you get that jolt like you're talking about. But it doesn't matter what combinations there are if you're not strong in the forecheck. If you're not doing the things that you illustrated there in that first hour when we were talking about those 2 games over the weekend. That's where it starts. And I think Chief, when anytime we ask him or somebody else in the media asks him about line combinations, he kind of falls back to that. He's not looking for the right pairings necessarily. He's looking for the right compete. Mm-hmm. He's looking for all the things that go into winning hockey games. And if it's the combination of what we're seeing lately, that's gonna get guys to play heavy on the forecheck, not turn the puck over, not look for that extra pass. He'll continue to roll with that until it doesn't work anymore. But it's about the fundamentals of what you were talking about in that second segment we did today, which is okay. Hold on to the damn puck possession. You do that with a strong forecheck. Don't turn the puck over, which is largely what you're trying to do from your defensive end through the neutral zone and set your offense up. And then when you're there, guys, bodies in front of the net, make 1 or 2 quick passes to buy that space, but once you have that space, shoot the damn puck. Mm-hmm. Like you're saying, simplify the game. So I have no doubt the line combinations have provided that spark. But that's like the 5th thing that's important that we saw over the weekend. Yeah,
you know what? I don't disagree with that because from an actual standpoint of like what's the most important thing, you're right. It's establishing your game. And the Blues' number one aspect of their game that we hear all the time is heavy on the forecheck. Mm-hmm. That we're a good when we're a good forechecking team, we're a successful team. So now we're all kind of like marry the two together is if you're playing on the wrong line and you don't get quality dump-ins or quality attempts at the forecheck, then it doesn't matter, right? You don't get to forecheck if you can't put yourself in a position to be successful that way. So that's where the line combinations come in a little bit there. But I like what I'm seeing out of this team right now. I think that, the first go of the season was, win-loss, or a 500 team, whatnot. But I'm looking at it now, and for whatever reason, I feel like something has clicked. Doesn't mean they're going to go on a 10-game heater. I don't know. I sure would like it. Mm-hmm. It'd be awesome if they did. But if nothing else, for me anyways, and I don't know about you, they've proved that they can actually be the team that we thought they could be.
Yeah.
Now, can they stay there on a regular basis? Can they do it all the time? That's to be determined. But at least now kind of like, we talked about a ceiling-ish for this team, and that's kind of what it looks like.
Right. Don't have the bottom fall out like it did against Arizona.
No.
Or Vancouver. That was if we're looking at it from the top side, mm-hmm. What you're talking about, that was the bottom. So don't have the bottom fall out. Play more like you did over the weekend, and that consistency will come. Like you said, you may not go on a 9-game tear, but you're also not going to lose 7 straight. So that's how it's supposed to look. To your point, they can get there. And I think going back to what Chief said to us last Wednesday when he was talking about we got to find some of that confidence, you saw it over the weekend. That's the key.
Oh, guys, yeah.
You know this is also nice, too? We're not sitting here talking about the goaltending. Anytime, sure. You know what I mean? We have not mentioned Binnington or Hofer in our 2 segments.
Binner was sensational on Friday again.
We didn't mention him. When they're losing,
that's right.
We all go to the goaltending.
Why are we not complimenting the goalie right now?
It's almost like goaltending and coaches. When a team wins, it's never the coach. When a team loses, it's always the damn coach. for some weird reason with hockey, probably because of the way we watch the game on our TV. You know, we always go to the goaltender. You lose, it's the damn goalie's fault. If you win, it's whoever scored that won. But you're right. Binnington was great on
He was
Friday
great.
night.
Hofer was good. I wouldn't say great. He was good against Montreal. But it's been a solid tandem. And one thing, too, that can't be overlooked is how good this penalty kill has been. Never mind their percentage and their league ranking right now, because they had the one game against Arizona where they gave up, 3 power play goals in one game, and that really kind of hurt their percentages. But they're doing a fantastic job of angling and closing teams out at the blue line to where teams are having a hard time even setting up. And then once they're set up, they're being really aggressive, taking away the number one opportunity or the number one play and, relinquishing, B or C, which is fine, but they're aggressive. And then on loose pucks, man, they're hammering that puck down the ice. It's not like trying to flip it out there. No, they're like clearing that thing like at 100 miles an hour. It's made a difference. Now, your power play didn't even get an opportunity on Saturday because there was no penalty. The one penalty that did happen, Kapanen ended up putting it in the empty net because the other team hadn't touched the puck yet. So I'm anxious to see, how the power play continues to evolve, because it's going to have to. But at least you're getting good special teams on the penalty kill side right now, to where Craig Berube's using a lot of different bodies, too. What I like about it is the guys that he's using, not only are they good defensively, but when there's a turnover, they're going offensively. They're looking to score. They're putting the pressure on the opposition. And that, to your point just a couple minutes ago, that's confidence for this club.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, it's a Fast Line on 101 at ESPN. All right, let's get into Week 9 in the NFL. Some of our top takeaways. Everybody's down on the Dolphins. Everybody is piling on now because you're starting to see the memes come out about, or at least the graphics on social media about the Dolphins' record against winning teams and against losing teams. You know what? This is your fault. I'll tell you why. Next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, getting old is inevitable, right? It's father time. It is what it is. But what you can stop is feeling old sometimes. And it happens to all guys. As we get older, you lose your testosterone and things happen, and different vitamins. You're just not getting enough. But wouldn't it be great if you knew? Well, now you can. Head over to Mentality. They took care of my guy, Anthony, and myself, and the process is so easy. You walk in, they greet you, board-certified physicians. They sit down, they talk with you, and then from there, the rest is awesome.
You know what's awesome, Jamie? Speaking of which, about Mentality, it's incredible. One of the things that I've seen is the things that I stopped doing, right? I stopped drinking a bunch of energy drinks or coffee. I stopped with a lot of the supplements that promise, here, this is what's going to happen for you if you just take this supplement. Overpriced a lot of the times, ineffective. I stopped all that. Got down to just water and eating right and working out. I do go to Mentality, though. Mentality is when it comes to Jamie and I, complete 180. Energy levels through the roof. Inside and outside of the gym's been great. I'm motivated, determined. If you're feeling down, do something about it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, do something about it. I'm not saying Mentality is the one stop for everything, but when you start feeling good, you start doing a lot of the things that's on your to-do list, and you do it effectively.
Yeah, it's going to point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So please visit one of their locations. Tell them that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. And if you want more information or just want to check them out, go to their website at lowtusa.com. Again, that's our friends at Mentality at lowtusa.com.
on 101 ESPN.
Refreshed by Bud Light.
Well, you sure know how to pick them.
Week 9 will be in the books tonight when the Chargers take on the Jets on Monday Night Football. We do have the pregame for you at 6:30. We already beat the Rizzuto show, which is nice. Nice job, guys. So tonight's game doesn't matter, although it does matter from a show punishment standpoint because Jamie and Carrie both have 8 points apiece. They both have the Chargers, so it's going to come down to whatever tiebreaker system that this Pick'em Challenge has. So let's get into this. There's a lot of people reacting to the Dolphins' loss to the Chiefs in Germany. And we've seen a lot of the social media post, look who they've beaten, look who they've lost to, the Dolphins. And a lot of people are kind of piling on, oh, the Dolphins are frauds. I heard a national guy say that today. They're frauds. They're frauds. If you think they're frauds, you had higher expectations than what should have been laid upon the Dolphins. And this is coming from a guy that picked them to win the AFC East. Did a lot of people have the Dolphins win the AFC East? I heard a lot of Jets because Aaron Rodgers. I heard a lot of Bills. I didn't hear a ton of Dolphins picks. So
I think the first couple of weeks though really kind of made people go, holy crap.
Exactly.
Dolphins, man.
But that's on you then. That's on you.
I know.
If you hyped them up because of the offense and overlooked a lot of the other issues that they had, namely on defense, and the defense has gotten better over the last 2 weeks. I actually think the defense is starting to catch up a little bit and play better. That's on you. You had higher expectations. I think the Dolphins are exactly where they should be at this point. Tua has stayed healthy. Their offense has looked great in spots, and they've looked bad in spots. But this is ultimately where I think the Dolphins should be. So to call them frauds, I think that's a you problem. Not you, Jamie, but you in general.
Yeah, don't ever do that again, please.
You in general.
I said they were frauds.
That's on you then, Marsh. That's on you.
They're 6-3 frauds.
Did you have them winning the AFC East?
No,
you didn't. Who'd you have?
I believe I had the Bills.
You had the Buffalo Bills,
who were also frauds.
Oh boy, they are bad.
The Bills might not make the playoffs.
How about your Bengals, Anthony?
Yeah, they've shoved it so far up my kazoo.
That's on you.
Yeah, no, I was wrong about that.
Joe Burrow has personally used your quotes, I've heard, as motivation.
Yeah. I had my fun in September. Now it's all downhill for me. No, Bengals look good. They look strong. Buffalo might not make the playoffs. And Buffalo, since we transition to them, and Marsh, if you got some thoughts on the Dolphins over here, but I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have masked a lot of the issues that the Bills have. That's an average team. They really are. But Josh Allen and Diggs are so good that we think that Buffalo is a Super Bowl contender. Me too. In years past. That Bills team is painfully average. They lost 3 guys defensively. Whole different team now. They might not make the playoffs. Because that's a stout AFC.
It's tough, man.
And you just lost to a Bengals team that you're going to be fighting against when it comes to the wild card.
Yeah, I don't think the Bills make the playoffs. I really don't, because when you look at the conference overall, the Dolphins, I still believe firmly they're going to win the division. The Ravens, I believe they're going to win the division. Jacksonville, they're going to win, and so are the Chiefs. Those are clear-cut division winners. After that, look at the records. Look at the records of everybody else after the first-place teams. At 5-3, the Bengals are a wild card team.
And ascending.
And you look at some of the other teams that are making a push for it too. And what are the Browns now? The Browns are pretty impressive this last week.
Yeah, they got a free win yesterday.
They had a free win, but still,
still had to show up.
Yeah, and what are the Chargers? I still think that they're a team that hasn't hit their stride yet, mostly because their coaching sucks. But I don't know. I don't see the Bills making the playoffs based on the fact that there's too many teams now that are right in that pile of wildcard contenders.
Yeah, I agree in that. Marsh, do you have any thoughts on the Dolphins there? Because you were the one that made the claim. You were not the only one.
I will say, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could say about the team, but I want your thoughts on Jalen Waddle and his ability to somewhat stay healthy for that offense.
As long as you have Tyreek Hill, I think you're fine offensively because you can manufacture. We've seen a lot of teams, a lot of players get involved in that offense, right? Like Braxton Berrios has gotten involved there. I think they have the element. Obviously, they're a better team without Jalen Waddle, with Jalen Waddle completely healthy. But I don't think they're a healthy Jalen Waddle away from making some sort of deep run. I think I mentioned this before, they need to play with a lead. They were in that game on Sunday because the Chiefs were, Patrick Mahomes fumbled the one time. The Chiefs were giving them opportunities. Otherwise, they were about to get run off the building. Why? Because they fell behind 21-0 the first half. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that Waddle is the key there. I heard another national guy say, well, when the heartbeat of your team, if it goes through wide receivers, you're doing things right. What the hell are you talking about? I won't mention the name. I won't. But what the hell are you talking about? And he was talking about, this national host was talking about the Eagles specifically. Heartbeat of the team goes through the wide receivers.
What?
No, the heartbeat of the team is Jalen Hurts, who's clearly playing hurt. Mm-hmm. No pun intended. Clearly playing hurt. Clearly gutting through everything. He took a massive shot yesterday and still managed to finish that game. And the Eagles found a way to win because the Cowboys couldn't get it past the little white line there into the end zone, whether it was on a 2-point or touchdown. But that was a fun game between two competitive teams. But one found a way to win, one didn't. Chiefs, same deal with the Dolphins. One team found a way to win when they did not have their best half, and one team didn't. One team came up short. So, to me, the Dolphins getting better defensively matters more than Jalen Waddle.
Well, another interesting thing is that the team has not won a game away from Miami since the start of October. So you look at the first two games that are on the road. They played in the Dome against the Chargers. Close game. Then they played New England, who I think we all would agree is not a good football team.
No.
Then they lost to Buffalo in Buffalo once the turn of the month happened in October.
And Buffalo was still relatively healthy defensively. That was kind of the turning point for Buffalo.
And then they lost to Philly in Philly, and then they lost to Kansas City in Germany. So we talked about it at the beginning of the year. This team, away from when they played at Hard Rock, away from Hard Rock, that they're a different team.
Totally.
And the stats prove that.
But they're going to be fine because they got a lot of home games coming up, right? Because I feel like they've been on the road damn near every week.
They played a ton of road games.
Yeah. Miami's going to win. They're going to win the division. Like Jamie said, they're going to win the division. They're going to be fine. And they're going to face a team with a good defensive line. And it's going to shut them down. I'm telling you we have seen this movie. We've seen this movie with the Dolphins. They will lose to a team. As soon as, I'll tell you when it's the game, too.
Don't tell me when it's cold outside.
No, when they face a team, when it comes playoff time, we'll look at the matchups and I'll say that's the game they're going to lose.
Could you see them losing to Las Vegas after their bye?
No.
Even with the new energy that they had. They're smoking cigars in the locker room.
Good for them. That was their Super Bowl yesterday.
It really
Tommy
felt
DeVito
like it.
again. No. How about C.J. Stroud, by the way?
Man, he's good.
You're Carolina, right? And I loved Bryce Young. I thought that Bryce Young should have been the number one overall pick and all that. And Carolina does not have the same team that Houston does, which factors in. But C.J. Stroud, I think, locked up the offensive rookie of the year yesterday against the Bucs.
Oh, he had to have.
He stole a victory out of the jaws of defeat with the throws that he made all game, but really on that last drive. That was remarkable. And the Texans are fun. It's a fun team. How about they had their backup running back too? He had to kick the field goal. He had to kick the field because Fairbairn got hurt. He injured his groin. He came out in the second half. He couldn't go.
I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah,
there?
they had their backup running back doing the field goal kick, and he made the damn field goal.
Awesome.
That was
awesome.
Great. And they kept going for two because they couldn't rely on him. But wow, what a remarkable performance by C.J. Stroud.
And on the other end of that, I thought Baker Mayfield did what he needed to do to put that team in a spot to win that game, and he did. And it's unfortunate that his defense couldn't come up and make a big play.
Which I'm surprised by. I thought, because C.J. Stroud, the previous 2 games, he was held under 200 passing yards, and you start to wonder maybe they're starting to figure, rookies starting to figure him out. I had the Bucs, like you did, Jamie. I thought the Bucs were going to pull off the upset, and we were, a minute away from having that happen. But C.J. Stroud, who would have thought that when the Texans traded Deshaun Watson, that they would have been, not knowing it, but they're now in a better spot, set up better for their future at quarterback than Cleveland is with Deshaun Watson. But it goes to show you pick the right guy, and you could turn the franchise around.
Who had a better game-winning drive, C.J. Stroud or Josh Dobbs?
Oh, I think C.J. Stroud.
Probably C.J. Stroud.
40 seconds down the field.
Yeah.
Pretty efficient. Now, I did
Dobbs had some timeouts.
I did not like Tampa Bay's defensive scheme. I mean, ultimately, obviously, they gave a touchdown, but they gave up way too much field. They have way too much field. I know they were trying to avoid the deep ball, but in doing so, they gave up so much field and didn't limit it to the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. Like, they had easy patterns that were going for receptions and then guys running out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like, not good.
Yeah, if you're going to give up, in that spot, you trade yardage for clock, but you cannot let those guys get out of bounds, like you said. Yep. And Jordan Addison if he doesn't make that catch, I don't know if Dobbs completes that drive.
That was crazy.
If he doesn't catch that ball, I don't know. I mean, it's the Falcons. They probably do anyways. The Vikings probably still win.
Yeah, they can't tackle them on 4th and who knows how long.
They suck. They're terrible. Still remarkable by Dobbs. All right, it's Fastline on 101 ESPN. We've got a couple of games coming up a little bit later on here. We'll play Narrative Reality. Actually, you want to do that next? You want to do a little narrative reality?
Let's go.
Let's do Narrative Reality next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues win 2 games over the weekend against the New Jersey Devils and Montreal Canadiens. A 4-1 victory over the Devils and a 6-3 victory over the Canadiens. The Blues will take on the Jets tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Also, over the weekend, City SC lost to Sporting KC in Game 2 of round number 1, a 2-1 loss. City SC's inaugural season has come to a close. And Mizzou took on Georgia on Saturday, losing 30-21. Coming up next, we have Narrative or Reality. If you have something to send to us, send it our way. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Narrative or Reality coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. All right, you heard Marsh in the Sports Center update. Let's play a little Narrative or Reality here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. What do you got, Marsh? All right, Narrative or Reality. This is the Blues' best goalie tandem since Jake Allen and Brian Elliott.
Well, feels a little early.
Yeah, it is. And I'd like to think that Jake Allen and Jordan Binnington were pretty good together, too. I mean, there's a cup ring that says they were pretty good together. So I'll go with Narrative for now. Joe Hofer's only played 2 games.
Yeah.
Or 3 games, sorry.
We're projecting.
But he looks good, looks solid. I'll tell you what I do like about Joel Hofer is, much like Jordan Binnington, he moves the puck so well. Mm-hmm. The other night against Montreal, they dumped the puck in, and he had it, and he's standing there ready to make a play, and then he's like dropping his shoulder, like faking, and then he sauced one from like the goal line to center ice, tape to tape.
No big deal.
It was unbelievable. So I think that reality is this is the 2 best puck handling goalies the Blues have ever had in their net at the same time. But for now, I'm just going to pump the brakes a little bit. I'll go Narrative.
Yeah, I'm going to go Narrative too. We're stretching here.
From a stat standpoint, in 2018-2019, the Blues Cup year, Jordan Binnington in 32 games played at a 927 save percentage. Allen had a 905, and then Jake Allen and Brian Elliott in 2015-2016 when they went to the Western Conference Final. Jake Allen had a 920 save percentage. Brian Elliott a 930.
Yeah,
so they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So
very good.
Next one for you fellas. Narrative or Reality. The Cubs are the favorite heading into the 2024 season to win the National League Central.
The Cubs are the favorite?
I got to go Narrative on that based on where we're sitting right now. I mean, are they going to bring back
Counsell
Marcus
can't
Stroman?
take at-bats anymore.
Are they gonna bring back Cody Bellinger? I mean, these are some key players for them a year ago, and they did not make the playoffs a year ago. Milwaukee still has the pitching. I know they lose Craig Counsell, but they still have the pitching for now. And when you have pitching and defense, that gives you as good a shot as anybody. Now, going into the season or going into spring training, I hope that the Cardinals are the team that we're looking at as the top team because they were aggressive in free agency, but that remains to be seen.
This one comes from Ron. Narrative or Reality. Mizzou should have stuck to the running game. First drive in the second half stalled by throwing the ball.
I thought they ran the ball well. I also thought that Georgia was willing to based on some of their formations, defensive formations, I think Georgia was willing to concede a little bit of the run, almost to goat Mizzou into, thinking that they can kind of drive the length of field on them by leaning on the running game. But I actually thought it was a well called game for Mizzou. I thought they did a nice job of moving the ball. What hurt him more than anything was obviously the fact that Cook threw the one to the defensive lineman. I mean, that one sabotaged you. And then he threw the interception along the sideline in the fourth quarter. Those are the plays that turned it. In terms of them sticking to, I thought they did a nice job having that balance. So I'll say narrative.
Narrative or reality from the 636. The Blues core needs a first-round playoff series win more than another top 10 draft pick.
Well, I'd say that's a reality. Because you've got so many guys that are part of this core group with years on their contracts remaining. So to get another top 10 pick means you have to have another really bad year. And I don't think this core needs that. I think they need to start trending in the other direction of thinking playoffs and getting into the playoffs. And, of course, winning a playoff round would be fantastic, too. So that's where I lean with it.
Yeah, I would say reality on that, too.
And also based on the draft class that's coming up here.
Mm-hmm. There's no Connor Bedard.
There's no Connor Bedard. There's no McDavid. There's no Nathan McKinnon. There's no headliners per se. So you're better off be winning.
Yeah, agreed.
Narrative or reality from the 618. The Cards championship window is closed until Walker, Gorman, and Gorman and Newt are the best players on the team.
I'm going to, sorry to, beat a dead horse, but look, that has nothing to do with pitching. Your championship window is closed because, as of right now, your only starting pitching is Miles Mikolas, Steven Matz, and then a bunch of young internal candidates. That is why your championship window is closed. That is why you finished in last place. They have to rebuild the pitching. I'm fine with the offense. If those three guys are your best players, there's no guarantee that you're even winning the division. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're the three best players in the league, okay. But at one point, the Angels had the two best players in the league, and they didn't do anything. Why? Because they never had the pitching to go along with Trout and Shohei Ohtani. So, I just, this year more than ever, I look at the situation and say, we've concentrated too much on offense here in St. Louis since that 2019 NLCS. And I know why we've done it, because of the manner in which they lost. Not only that 2019 series, but the subsequent playoff appearances since then. We concentrate so much on offense. Well, you did not invest in your pitching this year. And not only did you not lose in the first round, you finished dead last. You finished behind the Pirates. That's how much pitching matters. So I'm going to go with narrative on that.
From the 636, narrative or reality, Dennis Gates is a top 5 coach in college basketball and will make Mizzou nationally relevant for his entire tenure.
Wow. Is he a top 5 coach or a top 5 recruiter? Do they go hand in hand?
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily.
I'm going to go narrative on that one. I think that Dennis Gates has done a fantastic job in a super short amount of time with the Mizzou program. And if he continues to trend the way he is right now and the program continues to trend in the right direction, I think that he can get in there in a discussion of maybe in the top 10 coaches, but man, to break the top 5 with some of the quality programs and coaching that's out there, I find that to be a little steep at this point.
Yeah, I want to see it. I do. But to say that he's a top 5 coach right now, I don't have a keen eye when it comes to college basketball, especially when it comes to college basketball coaching. So I won't go out on a limb and back that up, because it would be fraudulent. So I hope so, though. Love what he did in his last year with Mizzou. And I do think
everything that's going on in Mizzou right now. Football programs successful, basketball programs trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
I love it.
Last one here from the 314. You'll like this one, Anthony. Narrative or reality, the Bengals are the best team in the AFC.
That is a narrative. Wow. Even though I was wrong, I've been wrong on them. Well, I was right in September.
Anthony,
I've been wrong since that point.
Have you seen their recent stretch of games, the Bengals?
Have you seen
4 in a row here, big boy?
Have you seen the team that we...
And they beat the 49ers and the Bills.
Have you seen the team that you and I both predicted to make the Super Bowl out of the AFC?
I have seen it.
Because they have looked good. That they being the Baltimore Ravens. You got to play a perfect game to beat the Ravens.
They look good.
Or have them beat themselves like they did against the Steelers. The Ravens have looked sharp, man.
The Ravens' schedule has been kind of soft. I'm not going to lie. You get the Texans.
They beat your Lions.
Just
like a drum.
Pause.
They beat Marshy's Seattle Seahawks.
Pause.
Okay, let's slow down now.
Like a drum.
Can I finish my thought?
Not if you're going to spew that garbage.
Well, you're going to listen to me anyways.
All right.
They had the Texans in week 1. The Texans didn't know what the hell they were.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Bengals in week 2 to where Joe Burrow had the bad calf and the Bengals were not good.
So we don't count that.
Well, we count it. It's a win, but it's not like they played the best version of the Bengals. Then they lost to the Colts. I don't know. And then they beat.
Yeah, because Matt Gay hit 4 50-plus yard field goals in the wind.
And then they beat.
It's a fluke.
They beat the Browns. They lost to the Steelers. And they had the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. Their only real quality win all season really has been against the Lions. So
what about the Seahawks? They're in first place as of yesterday.
Yeah, that's not really it.
You know what?
Division.
You're off.
You're off.
You're off the Ravens bandwagon.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. I'm kicking you off for the crap that you just said. Wow. You said worse about the Ravens than I did about the Lions, and you kicked me off the Lions bandwagon.
The problem that you have here, Anthony, is that the Ravens aren't your team. You picked them, but they're not your team.
I love...
The Lions are my team.
Hey.
So I can kick you off anytime I friggin' want.
No, here's the deal, Jamie.
Okay? Go back to your Falcons there, buddy boy.
Listen.
What's his name?
You've been
there?
mistaken.
Mustachio coach there that looks like he's
lost.
lost.
Has he been fired yet? Because I keep checking. I keep refreshing Twitter.
He must have pictures of Arthur Blank.
Probably. No, here's the deal, guys. You have all been mistaken. I've been rooting for a bird. I have been rooting for a black bird. You guys keep hearing Falcons. It's actually been the Ravens.
You know what, Anthony? You're right. I believe you.
Go Ravens. All right. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Just give me this, guys. I mean, if you saw that game yesterday,
Anthony,
just give it to me.
We'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Anthony just can't wait to talk with Chief, talk about their Baltimore Ravens.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chief knows.
Best friends all of a sudden.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, the Cubs just hired Craig Counsell. Should that change the approach of the Cardinals at all when it comes to their offseason plans? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, your one-stop shop for all brand new and pre-owned vehicles. Let's not forget about the Londoff guarantee. So if you're in there looking to purchase a vehicle and you have a vehicle to trade in, Johnny Londoff guarantees top dollar for your vehicle, no questions asked. And for the Londoff Chevrolet team, it's more than just the price tag for them. It's about the customer service. It's about the customer satisfaction. It's about making sure that your experience with the Londoff team is fantastic, and that you tell your friends and your family and everybody else that you know to go visit the Londoff team because they want to treat you just like they do their own family. And I know this. I've been a customer for over 20 years. I just recently purchased another vehicle from Londoff Chevrolet, and it was an amazing experience. So please get into either location, the original in Florissant, Missouri, the new one out in St. Peters, right off of Highway 70. That's the Londoff Autoplex. Get in there, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in, but if you can't get in there in person, get there online. Visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
I want Yachty. I want Yamamoto. I want Hader. I want another good pitcher. If we don't get these things, we're going to be losing again. Come on, Mose. Get off sitting on your hands and get going and do something.
See, Janet gets it. Why doesn't Mo get it?
I agree. I think Janet should have a direct line to John Mozeliak.
I do too.
Like,
how many times do you think she calls Mo?
One phone, no other numbers in it. When it rings, it's Janet, straight to Mo.
Yeah. Like a red phone that sits in his office.
Yeah.
And one at home, too.
It'd have a light on it, too, so that, like, you can't even be mistaken. Like, it flashes. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like Janet's calling.
Basically, the fire alarms go off in the building or at his house to know that you pick up that damn phone.
I think
Janet's on the line.
I think that not only would that be a good idea, I think it's a necessary thing.
Agreed. So, yeah, if you just get, if you replace Ollie with Yachty,
Did she say to replace Ollie with Yachty?
Yeah, no, she just said I want Yachty, but I took it a step
Why are
further.
you replacing Ollie with him?
No, she said I want Yachty.
Yeah, but why does Ollie have to go?
Well, what do you think she means by that?
I think she wants Ollie involved with the team, Anthony. I don't think she said I want Yachty to come in and fire Ollie.
How'd you take it, Marsh?
I took it as I think we should announce that Yachty is a part of this organization as a coach.
You
same
coward.
day
Coward?
that Craig Counsell is announced as the new coach or new manager for the Chicago Cubs.
So, guys, Craig Counsell was named Chicago Cubs manager.
Yeah.
That one came out of left field. I thought he was going,
Out
I
of the
don't
dugout,
know.
actually.
Yeah. I thought he was going to the Mets or something, you know? Nope. He's going to stay right inside the NL Central.
Anthony, I have a question.
Sure.
What is it about Craig Counsell that is so amazing? Because he just became the highest paid manager ever. Like, what am I missing? Like, I know he does a good job.
Yeah.
And, it's fine, but, like, what am I missing?
I think that when you see a manager that, like Mike Tomlin, can do more with less, I think that's kind of the mark of a good manager or head coach. There's somebody in the NHL right now that is doing more with less, or consistently does more with less. Doesn't always have the top roster. You may look at the rosters like, yeah, it's painfully average, and somehow they're in the playoffs. I think that's Craig Counsell with Milwaukee.
All right. I'm just wondering if there was something that monumental that he brought to the game of baseball that has changed things.
He's no Bruce Bochy, but then again, who is?
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah. I don't think the Cardinals should change their approach at all based on what the Brewers, Cubs, Pirates, Reds do. I don't think they should change their approach based on what the Braves have done or the Dodgers have done. Or the Cardinals need to get better internally. Now you could look at what the Dodgers are doing from like a scouting standpoint, what the Braves are doing from maybe a pitching standpoint, and some of the facilities that they have available, because the Cardinals have fallen behind in that regard too. But when it comes to their offseason approach, they have to be aggressive in adding pitching. We talked about this earlier in the show. There's no excuse for the Cardinals to limp into the offseason and try to do I don't know. We'll be okay if we just... No. You have to be aggressive. You have to get 3 starters, and then you got to start looking at the bullpen. It doesn't matter what the Cubs do. It doesn't matter what the Brewers do. It doesn't matter what... Again, the Dodgers or Braves do. You have to take the approach that you're Apple. Apple does not care if another company, another tech company, comes out with something that is better than what they have. They don't, because they know that that's going to happen from time to time. But in the long game, what are they doing to consistently improve the products that they have? That's how Apple moderates things or judges their success. That's what the Cardinals should do. The Cubs are going to have some bigger moves at times. The Dodgers are going to have some bigger moves. It doesn't matter what that one move is. In this case, Craig Counsell. It matters what you do throughout the course of an entire offseason, both in the free agent market and the international market. It matters what you do at the draft. It matters what you do at the trade deadline to improve your system and your roster. Mm-hmm. We get caught way too much into, the Cubs did this. What are you going to do, Cardinals?
Okay, so I agree with what you're saying.
I feel a butt coming on.
No. However, I do feel like as an organization, you absolutely have to pay attention to what's going on around you. Like, I think you'd be an idiot not to watch the free agent signings and the managerial changes.
Sure.
And, you have to. It doesn't mean you have to sit with one team and be so laser focused on one organization that everything you do, you feel like you have to punch back. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
But if you're not aware of what the Braves are doing, the Cubs are doing, the Dodgers are doing, if it's kind of secondary because you're just focused on internally, dude, you could be way off the mark then. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what's happened to the Cardinals a little bit. is they haven't paid much attention as to what the winning formula has been or the way the game is changing in certain ways. And I think that the game has passed them by. And now here they are in this situation trying to backtrack, going back in time to try and fix what they screwed up before. So that's where I think that, yes, you need to focus on what you're doing and not try to match every team punch for punch, because whether it's financially or roster-wise or whatever, you're not always going to be able to do that. But you darn well better be watching what teams are doing in order to pick up on trends and things like that so that you can stay up to par with the rest of the league.
I think you and I are saying something very similar. I completely agree with everything you just said. I don't think it's smart to base your decisions off of what the Cubs.
No, but maybe you should, because other teams were going and loading up on pitching in the last little while. There are a lot of swing and miss stuff, and you didn't.
But again, it wasn't just watching what others did and then copying that. It was knowing where the league was heading and how you improve yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cardinals have done anything to improve themselves.
I don't think they've had much awareness as to what's going on with the league.
Yeah,
period.
That's what I'm saying. I think you and I are saying something very similar, just in different ways. Let's just say this. Get it done. Get it done, Cardinals.
Yeah.
Why does my mic is just making goofy noises? All right, we got the Gauntlet next, and I lost on Friday, boys, to somebody that got eight points. Swept the board.
In random?
Yeah, I think I got 6. You got 8.
Oh.
Swept the board.
All right.
Good luck, guys. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter back with you here. We're joined by our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, there's always a lot of questions out there about refinancing, and people ask me all the time. I don't know why they ask me, but a couple of friends ask me if they should refinance now or wait to do that.
Well, Jamie, the first misconception that's out there is that you have to wait a year to refinance or some extended period of time. That's not true. You can refinance your loan the day after you close. Nothing is stopping you. Now, what you have to watch is the markets. This is a strange world we live in. Rates go up, they go down, they go up, and they go down. If you bought a house last month and your rate is in the upper 7s or even the 8s, you ought to consider refinancing. Now, if you're going to get a 0.5% better, your lender is going to say, hey, don't refinance. You're never going to recover the cost of refinancing if you're just saving 0.5%. Well, with the bagel loan, there's no closing costs at all. You recognize immediate savings, and it's well worth it. So call us, get set up, and as soon as those rates dipped, we can grab the opportunity and give you the better rate.
There you go. But you do have to call Stewie or at least text him, because he doesn't mind getting a text either. He hands out his personal cell phone for a reason. Again, he wants you to call him, but call him now. If you just heard this spot and you're like, oh, I always thought that you had to wait a year to refi. No. So Stewie just gave you some knowledge, so why don't you give him a call, tell him about your current situation, and then he'll look for ways to help save you money. Give him a call at 314-324-4440.
Again, that's 314-324-4440.
Or you can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
to the Fast Lane. Broadcasting live from the Car Shield Studio on 101 ESPN. 3 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit masstour.com.
405, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. So last Friday, Mike came on these airwaves. He had me in the Gauntlet, and he put up an 8 spot.
Wow.
So Mike is back to take on either Marsh or Jamie today. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, fellas?
Did we get a urine sample after that kind of a performance?
No, not yet, but it's coming depending on how he does today.
All right.
So
watch that.
It's clean.
Oh, we'll take your word for it, Mike. Oh, yeah.
Mike, would you like to take on Marsh or Jamie today?
I'm going to go with Jamie today.
All right. Jamie did have a feeling.
Monday, following Metallica concert. Might be dragging a little bit. Mm-hmm. All right, Mike. Good luck, buddy.
Get out of here, Jamie.
You too, man.
So Jamie's going into the cone of silence right now. Mike, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel. Let's see what category you get today.
Spin it up, Marshy.
What are you hoping for, Mike?
Well, I said I didn't want random, and I swept the board, so I don't really care.
Well,
hopefully not football.
It's football.
Yeah,
of course it is. Yep, you said it. The wheel heard you. Plus, Jamie usually gets football, so it's going to be football today. Marsh is getting the code words here.
The launch
codes. Yeah, why did I forget that? Hamster fell out of the wheel there. The launch codes. All right, Mike, you know how to play. 4 questions, all football. Each question's worth 2 points unless you need the options. And then those questions are only worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. Justin Tucker holds the record for the longest field goal in NFL history. His 66-yard field goal that set the record was against which team?
I'll just shoot and say I'll go with Cleveland Browns. Final answer.
Question number 2. In college football, the Red River rivalry is a matchup between which 2 teams?
Oh, man. I believe Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, or Texas and Texas Tech. I'll go with the Oklahoma's final answer.
So Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
All right, question 3. Who was the last running back to win the Heisman Trophy?
Oh. Let's go with the options on that one.
Mark Ingram, Todd Gurley, Derrick Henry.
Let's go with Mark Ingram, final answer.
And question number 4, Robert Griffin III, who won the Heisman in 2011, played football at which university?
Baylor University, final answer.
All right, we're getting Jamie back in. Mike, how you feeling?
Not too good.
All right.
I felt better Friday.
Makes sense, given how you did. All right, Jamie is putting his earbuds in right now.
Well, how did Mike do?
Go ahead, Marsh, tell him.
Pack a lunch, Jamie.
Really? I'm worried because Mike ran the board on Friday.
He did run the board on Friday. Jamie, your category is, of course, football.
I love football, Anthony.
Yep, you get it all the time. Wheel spun football, right? As Mike said, don't give me football. All right.
Sorry, Mike.
Question number 1, Jamie. Justin Tucker holds the record for longest field goal in NFL history. His 66-yard field goal that set the record was against which team?
Oh, God. Options.
Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Carolina Panthers.
Wow. Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Carolina Panthers. Let's see here. I feel like this is a Lions thing. Detroit Lions. Final answer.
Question number 2. In college football, the Red River rivalry is a matchup between which two teams?
Isn't it Auburn and Alabama? Isn't it, Anthony? Look at me, Anthony.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Look at it! I think that's what it is. Auburn, Alabama? Or is it LSU and Auburn? Son of a... It's all... options. Please.
Is it Texas versus Texas Tech, Auburn versus Alabama, or Texas versus Oklahoma?
Oh, wow. Texas, Oklahoma. Son of a... I'm just going to go with my gut. I said Auburn, Alabama. I'll go with that. Final answer.
All right. Question number 3. Who was the last running back to win the Heisman Trophy?
College football, huh? College football is the theme today, huh, Grant? College football. What about NFL football? Or CFL football? Options.
Sorry. Mark Ingram. That's me. Mark Ingram, Todd Gurley, Derrick Henry. Mark Ingram, Todd Gurley, Derrick Henry.
Mark Ingram, Todd Gurley, Derrick Henry. These are not easy, guys. These are not easy. I'll go with Derrick Henry. Final answer.
And question number 4, Robert Griffin III, who won the Heisman in 2011, played football at which university?
I'll know it when I hear it. Options, please.
Florida State, Baylor, Oklahoma.
Baylor. Final answer. Woof.
Okay.
College football.
Ugh. Let's go over these. Robert Griffin III, who won the Heisman in 2011, played football at which university? Jamie, you said Baylor. Mike, you said Baylor. Correct answer is?
It is Baylor.
But Mike did not need the options on that one, so Mike has a 2-1 lead over Jamie. In college football, the Red River rivalry is a matchup between which two teams? Mike, you said Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
Oh.
Jamie, you said Alabama versus Auburn, which of course is the Iron Bowl. Correct answer is
Texas, Oklahoma.
It is Texas versus Oklahoma.
It is Texas versus Oklahoma.
Don't act all pompous.
That one broke me.
Shut up.
That one broke me a little bit.
Man, you've been broken a few times.
A couple of times today. Yeah. A couple of times.
I'm going to start bringing up some random junior hockey rivalries for you, Anthony. Let's see how you do.
Not well.
Mr. Cleared Camp.
Oh.
Plenty of classes still available.
Yeah.
Spots.
Well, everyone knows Anthony's a
opening up.
huge Brampton Battalion fan.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah, totally.
No doubt. Love them guys. All right.
What's the score right now? 2-1 still, Mike?
2-1. Mike. Who was the last running back to win the Heisman Trophy? With the options, Mike, you said Mark Ingram. Jamie, with the options, you said Derrick Henry. Correct answer is?
It is Derrick Henry.
It is Derrick Henry, who won in 2015. Mark Ingram won in 2009. So we have a tie game. Comes down to this. Justin Tucker holds the record for longest field goal in NFL history. His 66-yard field goal that set the record was against which team? Mike, without the options, you said the Cleveland Browns. Jamie, with the options, you said the Detroit Lions. If it's the Lions, Jamie wins. If it's the Browns, Mike wins. If it's the other option, the Carolina Panthers, well, we got a walk-off. Mike.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. It was the Detroit Lions that Justin Tucker hit the field goal against.
Thing.
I think it was the one where it hit the crossbar, went up, off the upright, back down. Like it was one of them weird bounces, but it was a total Lions thing at the time. Different Lions team now. So Jamie wins 3-2 today. Mike, sorry, buddy.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, boys.
We appreciate it.
Good
Thanks
job,
for
Mike.
listening.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
one,
playing.
buddy.
You too. See you guys.
See ya. Jamie, nice job. You got three. You got 3 out of the 4 right.
College football, those are tough. They are.
You did great, buddy. You did great.
I don't need your fake praise.
Wow.
See what you're doing over there.
Whew.
Get a load of this guy.
Can't celebrate a win with a teammate, I guess.
Wow, oh my goodness.
Without
I
him
don't
feeling
feel
a
like you
little-
were cheering for me. That's the problem.
Feeling a little
Marshy
angry about this.
Grant actually told me in my ears you guys were cheering against me.
Not one bit.
Yep.
Not one bit. Now, we have to be
that's
neutral.
saying- yeah, I mean,
we got to be neutral in the gauntlet here. But, no, we weren't cheering against you, Jamie. That's
Just moving along, Anthony. Okay, it's already been.
We already played
awkward
narrative
enough.
reality, and that's definitely a narrative. All right, we got Blues Cues next. You got a Blues-related question, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll do that next in the Fast Lane.
Now, it's time for the Fast Lane's Blues Cues.
That's right. Time for some Blues Cues. So if you got Blues-related questions for us, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. You can have your question read off by Andrew Marsh, just like this one.
From the 636, question for Jamie. How is Justin Falk looked at nationally? I don't think he gets near the credit he deserves locally.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that, look, last year Justin Falk was your best defenseman overall. Logged a lot of ice time. Of course, it was a tough year for the team, but I thought Justin Falk played very well. And this year, too, he's being slightly overshadowed by Colton Parayko. And, look, justifiably so. Colton Parayko has been, incredible. He's been very, very good for you. Defensively, skating well with the puck. He's just assertive out there. But Justin Falk has also been really good. And Justin Falk stands guys up at the blue line so well. He is good routes, good angles, good stick on puck, and he finishes body through body. Plays a pretty heavy game for not a real big guy. So I don't think that Justin Falk gets the recognition nationally, because when you look at the Blues blue line, you think of Colton Parayko, and then nationally, they probably talk more about Torrey Krug, just because of his time with the Boston Bruins and being in a big hockey market like that. That's the name that's recognizable. And so when you look at that on the Blues decor, those are probably the two guys that get talked about the most. But in the hockey world, like people who watch the games, a lot of people who are fans that watch the games, or scouts or GMs, they recognize that Justin Falk is playing pretty well.
From the 636, why is it that Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas aren't compatible line mates, but are super effective while they are separated?
Yeah, well, look, it's a sample size, too, because last year they spent the bulk of the season together, and they were your two top scorers. So
right.
I think that for this season, it wasn't working initially, and I'll say it again, I think they'll be back together at some point in the near future, because that's what happens is your star players gravitate to being on the top line. And if that's the case, then they both have to play together. Now, why does it not always work? For me, for the start of this season, I felt like both of them, along with Pavel Buchnevich, were all thinking pass first mentality. Like, I got it on my stick. I'm in a really good spot to score, but can I set up my line mate for like a really sick goal? And that's why it wasn't working, is all three of them were looking to pass it. Someone has to shoot the puck. So by default, they weren't creating a lot of scoring opportunities. Now, Jordan Kyrou did have, 3 or 4 breakaways that he missed. So that would have changed things drastically as well. Had he scored those 4 goals, like maybe you don't touch that line. Maybe it is working. But he didn't. So you kind of move some pieces around. And for the last 2 games, it's worked very well for the Blues. We'll see what happens, coming up tomorrow night against the Winnipeg Jets, and hopefully it's another positive night. But I think it was just because they were pass-first mentality, and Craig Berube just was tired of looking at that.
Do you typically think it's more on the players not executing? In this case, it's the pass as opposed to the opposition? Like from general standpoints, when a line isn't clicking, specifically the top line, is it more opposition, or do you think it's more with the players?
Well, if the players are not getting the looks, right, if they're not getting into a spot where they can do damage, then it's the other team that's doing a great job. But that wasn't the case. Like, I don't know how many times Thomas or Kyrou had it, or even Pavel Buchnevich, they had it in the house with an opportunity to do damage and would look to pass one more time.
Right.
So to me, that's not the opposition. You're causing your own damage at that point.
Makes sense.
From the 314, should we expect Tyler Tucker to be a healthy scratch against faster teams?
I don't know. Let's see here. He got back in the lineup against Montreal. That's a really fast team. I thought he played pretty well. I think Tyler Tucker, for me, has to play a more consistently tough game. And that doesn't mean dropping the mitts and going after people, although I think it would help from time to time. But, I think Tyler Tucker is doing a real good job of trying to continue to evolve and develop his game, but you can't lose sight of what got you your opportunity, too. And what got him his opportunity was closing guys out, playing physical, being that rough and burly guy back there. I think he has to continue to do that. Because what are your options at that point? If you take Tyler Tucker out and you put Robert Bortuzzo in, let's say, are we really changing the dynamic of the speed on the blue line at that point? No. You could argue then Scott Perunovich, but we know that Scotty P's got some work to do on his defensive game as well. So, no, I think that for Tyler Tucker, it's not a matter of team speed and whatnot. For me, it's a matter of him consistently bringing that rough and tumble game night in and night out.
From the 618, Jamie, any update on how Dalibor Dvorsky is doing?
Yeah, he's crushing it. He is crushing it. He's loving the old Sudbury Saturday night up there, I'll tell you that much. He has been awesome. I'd have to pull up his stats again here, but I think he's got like 8 points in 5 games.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm talking to a couple people up north there. They just said that he's just on another level. That's good. That's what you want.
It's awesome.
He wasn't working over in Sweden where he was playing. And now he's going to be a man amongst boys, which is fine because he's only 18 years old. And the team that they have put together in Sudbury is a team that can probably contend this year. Ken McKenzie, the head coach, who oddly enough was my head coach my very first year junior, he's doing a real good job with that team. And Dalibor Dvorsky has been really, really good.
So that could play into this next one. From the 636, when are the Blues going to go all in and go after a player of star caliber to finally replace Brett Hall? We haven't had a star since. I wonder, this is just from me, do you necessarily need to go buy a star, or can you have one develop internally? We're just talking about Dalibor Dvorsky.
Yeah.
It's better if you develop one internally.
It's a lot cheaper.
It's certainly a lot cheaper. I would even say it's a lot easier to acquire because you're developing that guy internally as opposed to trying to make it work with the cap, and then it limits you, and it's not easy though.
No, and look, those guys are so few and far between. Like, go look around. Who's a star player you think you could acquire right now? The teams are just willingly just be like not re-signing, and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, is it William Nylander? But is he really a star? Like, he's playing well in Toronto, but what would he be in St. Louis?
Right.
I don't think he's a superstar. Brett Hull was a superstar.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Austin Matthews on the Leafs is a superstar. But the way that you construct your roster, that doesn't lend itself to have one of those players. And I don't think they ever really have in this new era of hockey.
No, they really haven't. I mean, Vladimir Tarasenko was your most notable name for a period of time. But even he wasn't a superstar.
No, a superstar to me is putting up over 100, at least over 100 points a game.
Yeah.
Or not a game. Oh my gosh, that'd be insane. A year.
I mean, that would be a superstar.
That would be pretty
Marshy.
sweet.
I mean, it would be.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That would fall into the best player ever category.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. That's your Blues Cues here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We do have our Sports Six-Pack coming up in about 15 minutes. So if you want to start sending in questions, again, to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646 for the Sports Six-Pack. Love to have you participate in that as well. How did they screw this up so badly? We'll tell you who that team is and whether or not they actually did screw it up. Next on 101 ESPN. So last weekend, my wife and I went out to Auto Center Nissan Herculaneum. We'd been out there a couple of times looking at the 700 vehicles that they have on the lot. Well, we didn't look at all 700 vehicles, but you sure can. You can start off online. That's what we did at AutoCentersNissan.com. Find what make and model you're looking for. Find the budget that you want to stay under, and then Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they take care of the rest. We loved working with Jerry out there at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, but all the salespeople are fantastic there. The finance people, fantastic there. They're going to set you up in your next new ride just like we did. So we wound up with a Pathfinder that we love. It's a pre-owned vehicle, but man, it's in great shape. They gave us the history on everything. We felt good driving it off the lot, and we love it. So when you're heading out to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum and you're looking at your vehicles, you want to make sure that you find the right one. Understand that they're gonna set you up right at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Financing options for everyone. 30-day return promise. The complimentary lifetime warranty with new Nissans as well. Go out there, have them set you up in your next new ride. Tell them Stalter sent you, and get the full experience like my wife and I just did from Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues picked up 2 wins this weekend against the New Jersey Devils and the Montreal Canadiens, defeating the Devils 4-1 and the Canadiens 6-3. They'll be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Also this weekend, City SC in Game 2 of Round 1 of the MLS playoffs lost to Sporting KC by a final of 2-1. Their season has now come to a close. And Georgia defeated Mizzou 30-21 on Saturday. Today, big news in the NL Central. The Chicago Cubs hired Craig Counsell, former manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. We talked about that earlier in the show. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. You can find the full show there. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
So we're going to pivot. We're going to talk about something else, but Jamie just informed Marsh and I that he had read some tweets from John Denton of MLB.com that quoted Mo. So, Jamie, I've not heard these yet. I've not seen these. So This is – what do you got, man?
Okay. So to start to set the table off correctly here, I guess today is the first day where the GM meetings in Scottsdale. And so the media was able to talk to presidents of baseball operations, like all sorts of teams. So a couple things. The Yadier Molina thing said that John Mozeliak said that there's no update on the club potentially hiring Yadier Molina as either an advisor or a coach. Mozeliak said a role is still being discussed and there's no timetable for that hiring right now.
Okay.
Next thing he said is some of the things that Yadier Molina and Mozeliak are talking through. Some of the things we're talking through is the type of role, the type of expectations we want to see, and nothing is set in stone. I'm hopeful that he'll be a part of our organization in some way or another. So that goes back to my comment not too long ago saying, I don't know if Yadi wants to put 162 games together of being there from 7 a.m. till like midnight each day. So that's probably what the expectations are. The Cardinals are like, well, hey, here's our expectations. What are you willing to do? So, all right, we'll keep moving along here. John Mozeliak said the club has made no changes to the MLB coaching staff. However, he does see the size of the staff growing in the coming months prior to spring training. His direct quote is, I could see additional hands on our staff.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Okay, so here's
so far, so good.
Yep. Hold that thought.
Okay.
President of Baseball Operations John Mozeliak on his club's spending in free agency for pitching. Direct quote, I think we have to be prudent on how we think through some of this, but I definitely think the type of payroll we're going to have, we were going to have last year before trades will look very similar this year. Basically saying that last year's payroll, up until the point where they shed salary through the trades at the end, last year's payroll will be similar to this upcoming season's payroll.
Read that again.
Okay. It says, I think we have to be prudent on how we think through some of this. That's to do with spending. But I definitely think the type of payroll that we were going to have last year before our trades will look very similar this year. So to break it down, Anthony, as I see you seething a little bit, he's saying that payroll this upcoming season will be the same as payroll last year before they traded everybody.
There's no way.
So John Denton's not a liar.
All right,
That's
okay, but before I freak out here, we know that Adam Wainwright's 17 whatever's off the books. So that's a starter. That's a starter right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Montgomery wasn't making anything, though. Who did they trade? They traded Montgomery.
But
they
this
traded.
is the problem, Anthony.
I know, but
you don't have like a 35 or 40 million that came off your payroll.
Can I work through this here before we freak out?
I'll allow it.
Waino is one starter. Montgomery, Flaherty. Who else did they trade? Stratton, who made nothing. How much was Flaherty making last year through arbitration? Wasn't much, right?
I don't know. I forget.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way the DeWitts looked at, the competitive DeWitts looked at that situation last year and said, we're not really going to budge much. I don't believe it. And I get it. We all want to pile on Mo, but Mo does not set his own budget. At least I don't think he does. There's no way that this ownership and this front office looked at what happened last year and said, just a couple of tweaks, we'll be prudent, we're fine. There's no way. I don't believe you.
Who do you not believe?
I don't believe that Mo is saying the payroll is going to be similar to what it was a year ago.
Is this the opposite of saying our payroll is going up this year?
Maybe he's doing the thing that
little reverse psychology.
We all kind of suggested, which is basically set low expectations.
Yeah, but again, it's also information that he doesn't have to disclose. Like this is to me, this is the biggest misstep that the Cardinals have made, is saying things that aren't necessary. Like Mo did not have to say last year, the payroll's going up. Didn't have to. You know what I'm saying, Anthony?
Yeah, I
He
do.
didn't have to, because as soon as John Mozeliak said payroll is going up, you had to have known that the expectations then were going to be that it's astronomically going to go up. We're going for it. This is our all-in.
Right.
So no matter what you did, it wasn't ever going to be good enough.
Correct.
And this is another one of those situations. Like, why do you even disclose, like, last year before the trades? Why would you even say? I would just say, hey, listen, we've already identified that we're looking to get some pitching. We'll see where the market sets itself, and then we're going to be as aggressive as we possibly can be. All that means there is that he's going to be as aggressive as the ownership will let him be. That's it. So if he goes out there and gets Sonny Gray, and that's your marquee pitcher, you'll know that the DeWitts signed off on Sonny Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Not Aaron Nola, not Yamamoto,
Yeah.
So this is where I think words confuse the message.
Well, nothing is confusing about the direction of this team if you just sign one pitcher for about $17.5 million per year and then roll with internal options.
You're gonna end up in the bottom of the division again.
Yes. Unless your internal options wind up being light years better than what projections would have them be, then you're not going to improve your club at all. How is this possible?
I don't know.
If this club goes through an offseason, I mean, maybe he suggests, we're just not going to be active in free agency, but he's got a bunch of trades. But even that, you wouldn't know right now what trades were going to be completed. You do know what your budget's going to be. There's no way.
So
I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that the DeWitts looked out at Busch Stadium last year in the second half and saw all those red seats and said, "Nah, we're not going to be active spenders." I refuse to believe that. I do.
Well, I want to know what our listeners think. Use the mic drop feature, the 101 ESPN app. Like, are we getting it wrong? Do we expect too much? What are your feelings? Hearing what we just talked about? Just whatever it is right now, however you're feeling, your reaction to, John Mozeliak's comments, we want to hear them on the 101 ESPN mobile app. Just click the little mic drop thing.
I mean, that's got to be the biggest Arthur blank you to the season ticket holders.
I would say so. I hate that you keep making my Falcons a verb when you know it's been painful today. But I'll give you credit. That was pretty funny. All right, so like Jamie said, we'll let the mic drops kind of roll in here. I imagine the text line is active too.
It's blown up.
All right, why don't we stick with this? If we have the read correct on what John Mozeliak said.
Apparently, Derek Gould tried to
clarify,
clean up the quote, but I can't access it because
he blocked you.
101 ESPN won't sign us up for the Post-Dispatch, so we gotta buy.
Boy, you just threw our entire.
Yeah, I did. I think it's crazy. I think we should have access to all these things. The Athletic.
It's talking about sending a message. Yeah. My word. Jamie Rivers. All right.
Right now, in the moment, I'd like to be able to talk about it. I can't because it's like, you got to subscribe.
All right.
I think it's $1.
Yeah.
Is it down to $1?
What am I going to do? And then expense it, Marshy?
I don't know.
Until it goes up.
If it's just $1, don't you think we should have it?
Yeah.
Just saying.
More of your mic drops coming up
next on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, fun. Cheap is St. Louis's one-stop party shop. A huge selection of your favorite beers, your wines, your spirits, friendly service, and, of course, they've got the great prices over at Dirt Cheap. They pride themselves on a vast selection of beer, wine, and how about the bourbons? Yeah, they've got Bullet, they've got Angel's Envy, Elijah, Jack Daniels. They've got it covered, and right now is bourbon season. You know, it's a little cold outside. Maybe you still got the fire pit going. Maybe you want to sit on the porch with a nice glass of bourbon from Dirt Cheap. Tell you what, that makes the evening that much greater. And also, the Dirt Cheap app is available. Just download that thing and check out all the offerings that they've got there. They've got more discounts. They've got giveaways. They've got clubs that you can sign up for. And you can place your order on the app and go through one of the drive-thrus at each Dirt Cheap location and get your stuff taken care of. So again, please visit my friends over at Dirt Cheap. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. And remember, have fun, but be careful out there.
if the Cardinals aren't going to spend any more money to get a better pitching staff and more talent on this team, how can you possibly expect ESPN to pay $1 for a Post-Dispatch membership? I mean, come on, man.
Mike brings up a good point.
I missed the first part. I didn't have my headphones on.
He said, basically to paraphrase, if the Cardinals aren't going to be willing to spend, how do you expect ESPN? And we're an ESPN affiliate, by the way. We're not owned by ESPN. But nonetheless, how do you expect ESPN to pony up $1 for a subscription to the Post-Dispatch? Either way. So this is what we're talking about. John Denton's tweet 43 minutes ago from John Mozeliak on his club spending in free agency for pitching. Quote, I think we have to be prudent on how we think through some of this, but I definitely think the type of payroll we're going to have last year before trades will look very similar this year. Huh?
Okay, so let me add some more to this.
Yeah, please do.
Apparently there was more said.
Okay.
That Mozeliak added that they do need to account for the likely sag in revenue from ticket sales coming out of the
stop.
season. I'm not joking.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I could buy the Bally Sports thing. I can't buy the sagging ticket sales. What about the years prior?
Anthony, you read my mind, bro. I was sitting here going, then why did you not have an increase all those years you had all the people in the seats?
Seriously. When you were selling out year after year after year, even if you want to go before the pandemic, year after year after year, you didn't budge. You were always in that 8 to 12 range.
Why are the tickets? Why are the prices? No one's buying tickets. Why is that?
Right.
Because they're not putting the product out. Good product.
That's crap. That's crap. You get the most loyal fan base in baseball. I've never seen a baseball city that wants to talk about the bullpen more than this one.
Yeah. And we did still have 3 million people go through the gate this year.
Stop.
Listen, Anthony, sometimes you just can't get out of your own way, and I feel like that's what happens a lot with this.
That's okay. We asked for a mic drop, so let's do so we're not completely venting this entire time.
It's fun.
Here's Shane.
Hey guys, most comments tell me that he's going to go after controllable starting pitching. Probably means that a lot of our utility infield depth, a lot of the outfield depth, maybe like a Victor Scott, is going to be traded so that we can get controllable starting pitching that has a set number that's not open market prices. And so that's how he's going to try to keep the budget this year in line with last year.
Okay. Yeah. Shane, you're probably right. I don't like that you're probably right, but you're right. Nothing against you, Shane. I don't like how smart that comment was. I'd rather be irrational right now. So, Jamie, is this what you were trying to read here? So we're getting some tweets now at us, and one of the tweets said the Cardinals did not reach $200 million in total spending. So this is kind of the thing you mentioned.
Yep.
$200 million in total spending on payroll this past year. Had they kept the team together and added at the trade deadline instead of being a seller, they would have reached that mark for the first time in club history. They expect this year's spending to be back in line with that projection. Mozeliak added that they do need to account for the likely sag in revenue from ticket sales coming out of a losing season. The team they put together in the winter will clearly influence fan interest. How it plays in the summer will influence more. I'll just say this. Maybe we've got it completely wrong here. Your fan base is ticked. Your fan base is ticked off. Last year was embarrassing, but last year was also just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the frustration. That was last year was the tip of the iceberg. The Cardinals fans' frustration reaches way below the surface than what they think. Because this fan base has been ticked off for years now. They have been ticked off for years on how you have built your roster. And there's only so much we can say when it comes to, hey, they are spending, but this, that, and the other thing. Sprinkle in a couple of trades that have not worked out, that have completely backfired, and this fan base is up in arms. You cannot have a lackluster offseason. You cannot. This fan base is dying right now to send you a message.
Yeah.
You cannot have a rough offseason. All right, let's hear from Darren, who left us a mic drop.
The biggest question I see is not just Mo going out and getting more pitching, but if he doesn't get the quality pitching that is needed, how is Nolan Arenado going to react? Because he just came from Colorado, a last place team, and now he's with the Cardinals, a last place team.
Well, I would imagine Nolan would be furious. I imagine he'd be ticked off.
Well,
him and Newt have been going to Japan trying to recruit pitching. Imagine if they don't even entertain Yamamoto.
Right.
Imagine if they don't even entertain the idea of it.
Guys, is this just a big smoke screen?
Maybe. I hope so.
Like to where, because I talked about it in the office with you guys, how like other executives around the league saying that, that John Mozeliak is all business. They haven't seen this side of John Mozeliak before. And then he comes out with these comments. Like maybe he's trying to douse the flames a little bit.
I'll laugh. I'll laugh at our frustration. But this was just sent to us too by Tripolar Steve. This is a kind of a quote. Let's see, January 2023 from Mo. The way we operate is that we're going to invest in what we think are smart investments. Again, this is January of this past year, 2023. Prudent, but also investments that we understand could have a backside of negativity or loss. Having said that, you're not going to do something just to do something, and you're not going to spend just to spend. We like our team. If we didn't like our team, we'd be making adjustments to our team. So he's kind of saying a similar thing. That was after they only added Wilson Contreras last offseason. Did virtually nothing after that. All right. We have other mic drops. Lisa left us a mic drop. Let's get to what's trending next, and then we'll continue to do more of your mic drops as well here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Save money on your car or your home insurance with Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency through Allstate Insurance. And let's go back a couple of years to where before I met Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency, I had no idea who represented me. I had a 1-800 number and I had a card that I could call if something went wrong. There are a couple of things that happened. I tried to make those phone calls and got the runaround, had to talk to somebody new every single time. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. So when I met Tracy Bibb, she explained to me that the Bibb Agency doesn't operate like that. They treat all their clients like family. And then she asked me if she could take a look at my policies. And that's where it got scary. I wasn't covered properly in several different scenarios. And, of course, I was getting a really good rate, but I wasn't getting the coverage that I needed. So Tracy, from that moment, took over. She called the other company, fired them for me, and got me a competitive rate on all my insurance, and I'm properly covered now. And she's always just a phone call away. And that's the best part about it, is Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency, like I said before, they're like family. They take care of you, and they want what's best for you. So please give Tracy and the Bibb Agency a call today for a free non-committal quote. That number is 314-328-4260. That's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
What's trending in the world of sports? The Fast Lane has you covered. What's trending now?
Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate to Goodwill to win a magical Polar Express staycation.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, I'm Andrew Marsh. And it's time for What's Trending. Anthony, your Falcons yesterday.
No, Marsh. I see what you're doing.
You want to talk about a different bird team?
I think we should talk about a different bird team. Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe some comments that
Just
were
see what he's
recently
trying to
made.
do.
Wow, Anthony. I picked them to win. It's very disappointing.
Well, it's the last time we'll do that. And it might be the last time Cardinals fans go to Busch Stadium based on some of the comments here.
Here is the tweet that John Denton put out just a little after 4 o'clock. It says, Pobo John Mozeliak on his club spending and free agency for pitching. In quote, I think we have to be prudent on how we think through some of this. But I definitely think the type of payroll we were going to have last year before trades will look very similar this year. And this is the topic we've been talking about for the past couple of minutes. 30 minutes, give or take.
I've got more.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
9 minutes ago, John Denton tweeted another quote from John Mozeliak.
Oh, boy.
When asked, this is the tweet, when asked if he still wants to add 3 starting pitchers via trades or free agent signings, John Mozeliak said this, quote, I think we definitely need to try to find 2, and then maybe we find someone that can maybe split roles or something.
Oh, boy.
That's
There's
not
more.
a real quote.
This is John Denton. More. You know, it'd be great if one of our younger pitchers could actually step in and pitch meaningful innings, too, throughout the year. So, when you think about guys like McGreevy, Graceffo, Thompson, where will they be physically and mentally next year? What have they learned to help them prepare for next year? Liberatore, I thought out of the bullpen, he was really good, but I'm sure his desire is going to be want to come in and start. End quote.
Oh, Marsh just threw the chair. All right.
Like, we're being trolled here, right?
I will say this, though. You're motivating your internal guys, right? You're motivating them.
So what?
No?
Why? How?
Yeah, because, hey.
Oh, you have a chance?
You're you're playing winter ball.
You still have a chance.
You go do your thing.
If Mo signs 3 guys.
And then you sign 3 guys anyways.
Yeah, but if he signs 3 guys. But again, Anthony, this is where my frustration goes, is why even talk about it then? Like, why even say, when asked about if he wants to add 3 starting pitchers, why not just say, hey, look, we know we have to address the pitching, and we're on it. And we're looking to add whatever makes sense for the Cardinals. Boom. That's it. You don't have to say, well, maybe it's 2 instead of 3 now, and we're really looking at our internal options. Why? Why say that even? Like, I know he's being honest, but does he not? I mean, this is something Mo's never been able to do, is read the room. Well, you laugh. I'm serious.
I'm laughing because you said it funny.
What? I'm not trying to be funny.
I'm not
right
Mo.
now.
You don't have to jump down my throat.
I'm not trying to be funny right now. Why is that funny?
The way you said it was hilarious.
Like, I'm pissed off.
I'm not going to just sit here and not laugh when you say something funny.
Well, I don't think it was funny. I was angry more than anything, but I'm glad I'm here to amuse you.
Well, thank you. You're good that way.
How does these quotes? How does this happen, Anthony?
Do
Our
it.
young guys, and he goes off and names all the internal options. Like, what are we doing? Like, we know who the internal options are, which is why we need to go get 3 freaking pitchers. No.
How much is this is DeWitt?
I don't know.
How much is it the DeWitts?
I don't know.
So
I don't
Lisa, does Lisa comment on that? All right, so here's Lisa. She left us a mic drop.
Hey guys, so if what you just said is true, everyone in the world knows that I feel like we need a stronger leader. However, if what you said is true, then the DeWitts need to really look at themselves and say, you know what, we're done. Like the Bushes got done, and that's fair. But if that's where they're at, then sell to somebody that still has the drive to win. Because if they're not going up on payroll, don't insult our intelligence. They're not trying to win. All right, thanks, guys.
I think that's fair. We've talked about this a lot. Well, everybody is shoveling dirt on Mo. When it comes to how much he's spending, it's not his money. he has got to spend what's allotted to him. But I'll go back to what I said 30 minutes ago. I don't believe that the DeWitts are sitting there and saying, we really have to nickel and dime this offseason.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case
I don't think
either.
that's the case, man.
I refuse to believe that.
I just don't.
But it does go to show, okay, so then why make, like you said, why make these comments?
That's my biggest problem with it is it's the track record of the comments that are unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Why don't you just be more like some of the other GMs? Say very little. Talk about putting together a team for a winning season. Last year was unacceptable. We owe it to our fans. Our fans support us. We're going to put a better product on the field, and we're working 24 hours a friggin' day right now to figure it out.
Right.
Because just because John Denton says, hey, are you still going to sign 3 pitchers?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to answer the question.
Right. Offseason hasn't started yet. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Done.
But are you going to sign 3 pitchers? We're going to do whatever it takes to win.
To win.
And what makes sense for this team, because we owe it to our fan base. We owe it to, our devoted fan base.
Right.
That's what we're doing. We're focused on winning. So it's not just pitchers. It's not just the bullpen. It's the team. Mm-hmm. We're assembling a team that can compete next year.
Yeah.
I answered absolutely nothing. Nothing.
No, but I feel better.
Nothing.
I feel way better.
But the fans go, you know what? All right. I'm in. But did you answer the 3 pitchers? It's not about 3 pitchers.
Right.
We want me to sign 3, 5, 6, 7. We're ready to do whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would have rather had that would have been perfect. Because even if you're a ticked off fan, you still say, all right, well, prove it then. This is a show me state. But you still feel better than what he said.
Yeah.
I would have rather have him go full Dabo on everybody. Just be like, you listen here.
Even if he said 7 pitchers.
Let me tell you something.
He might be talking
You're
about
a spoiled fan
the
base.
bullpen. He might be talking about some minor league guy. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Just tell me something I want to hear.
Let's hear from Chuck.
Hey, Johnny Bow Ties. Chuck here. Just do me a favor. Sounds like we're going down the road where we're probably going to be trading players to get pitching. Do me a favor, Johnny Mo. Don't trade any players from the minor leagues. Your track record on that is not very good. Trade the players you've seen in the majors underperform. Trade those guys for some starters and some bullpen help. Don't trade any Adolis Garcias in the minors that you never let see the field, or any Gallons or Alcantras. Don't do it, please.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair, Chuck. All right, what else you got for what's trending there, Margie? Anything else?
I mean, that was kind of the big thing, but let's get into Josh McDaniels. And this was according to Jay Glazer. He said this on Fox yesterday. He had a meeting. There was a meeting with the Raiders. This was before he was fired, where a lot of the Raider players would sort of air out their frustrations on Josh McDaniels. He then had Antonio Pierce come up and speak for him, in which he mentioned the 2007 Giants, a team that beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That Patriots team was the one that almost went undefeated. And after the fact, and when saying this, he basically alluded to the fact that Giants team, they weren't afraid to play anybody. They knew that they had that mindset that they were going to beat anybody that they played.
Right.
And after saying that, apparently, and this is according to Jay Glazer, Josh McDaniels went up to him and said, "Don't ever talk about the Patriots like that." And so there was a little
Nobody puts
split.
baby in the corner.
I believe that got up to the higher ups, a.k.a. Mark Davis, a.k.a. the hair. And he did not like the... Oh, let's slow down now. That man does not have flow.
No, I said the bowl.
Oh, the bowl. Yeah. You said flow.
I did.
No.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Did you?
I thought I was hearing things.
I thought you did say bowl.
So got up to Mark Davis, and he saw that there was obviously a split within the locker room, and now Antonio Pierce is the head coach. Found that interesting. I thought it was fake, like these comments.
Right.
Josh McDaniel, he just couldn't quit the Patriots.
No, he couldn't.
He couldn't.
Well, he should go back there.
I can't quit you, boo.
Go back home to dad.
So
get on the payroll and then just stay there.
Here's what I think happened: is Josh McDaniel may have been sold a bill of goods of he's the next head coach in New England. He may have been sold that, which is probably why he came back so abruptly, like you're the coach in waiting type thing. And then that has not progressed to be the case, or it's not going fast enough. So Josh McDaniel took a head coaching job while his heart, though, was still back in New England wanting to coach the Patriots. And I just think it's been an awful fit from day one. Mm-hmm. And not that I can tell that his head isn't in it or his work ethic isn't there. I'm not there. I don't know. Right. But for someone to say that kind of a comment, like, don't ever talk about the Patriots that way. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man. That would be like me when I got traded to the Red Wings, and they're, those guys are MF and somebody on the Blues at the time. Be like, hey, don't ever talk about the Blues that way.
Right. Right.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what team are you on, bro?
That's just dumb. That's dumb. All right. We got our Sports Six-Pack next, so send in questions to Air Commerce Service text line if you would like. 314-399-9646. Again, Sports Six-Pack is next in the Fast Line.
Elevate your performance at Pure Performance, your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications. Look, they're known for a lot of things, and especially their top-notch quality service that they offer you. You walk into their 25,000 square foot facility, and you have any accessory that you want, whether it's lift kits, leveling kits, running boards, light kits, you name it, they've got you covered. And if you've got a Jeep, any year, any make, any model, Pure Performance has the accessories for you. And they also have all of the accessories for those new Ford Broncos. And boy, do they make it look good. I talked about this the other day. I stopped by to say hi to them, and I saw a black Bronco that had just been absolutely accessorized. It was unbelievable. I could not believe what I was looking at. And they also cover all kinds of tires. So it's not just oversized or off-road tires. They've got everyday tires for any vehicle that you're driving. And they also have accessories for any vehicle that you're driving. And they have a full-service garage, too. So anything that you need done while you're in there, they can certainly take care of that for you. And all you have to do is get over there and ask for Shelby. Tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in, and she's going to make sure you get taken care of the right way. So please visit them, but if you can't, visit them online at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by Maggie O'Brien's, your go-to Irish pub in St. Louis for over 42 years.
Time for our Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. If you got a question, 314-399-9646 is where you can send it. That's our Air Comfort Service text line with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
From the 636, City SC loses in the first round of the MLS playoffs. The Cards have their worst season in decades. Blues missed the postseason. Battlehawks missed the playoffs because of the stupid division format. Is this the worst St. Louis sports year in a long time?
Look, the Battlehawks missed the playoffs, but that's kind of a weird format. I would still consider their season to be a successful season. You had great support. The fans loved it. Nobody left disappointed. City SC, same thing. Like, what did you expect? I don't think anybody truly expected to make the playoffs, let alone win first place in your conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they bow out 2 straight games to Sporting KC, which is a kick in the Liberty Bells for sure. But who'd have thought we'd even be in that position? So I think those 2 teams gave us a lot to enjoy, at least for their seasons, and a down season for the Blues and Cardinals. That stinks because they're the 2 major entities in town. Although City SC, boy, they're certainly standing up and being counted right now. But I don't think it's the worst ever.
It's the worst in a long time. There's no question.
Yeah.
The Cardinals finished dead last. Dead last.
It's the Cardinals that swing it, right? Because, like,
Well, Blues missing the playoffs, didn't help.
Well, yeah, but Blues went through that stretch of time where they rebuild-ish mode, and it wasn't good, but you still had the Cardinals. So the Cardinals, to me, are the
Not this year.
No, I know.
Yeah, dead last for the Cardinals. Blues missed the playoffs.
Anthony, where'd they finish again?
Dead last.
Okay, just making sure.
In the NL Central.
Yeah, if you ain't first, you're last, right?
Exactly. Blues, no playoffs. Battlehawks, no playoffs. And City SC, after the greatest regular season known to man, gets bounced in the first round. Don't want a playoff game. So yeah, this is the worst St. Louis sports season in a long, long time.
I'll say since 2007 and 2008, those 2 seasons. And like Jamie said, the Cardinals kind of swing that because those were 2 years that they didn't make the playoffs.
Good call.
The Blues, like Jamie said, were in their rebuilding phase. And the Rams always have been terrible.
Yep.
Since they lost to, who was it? Your Atlanta Falcons.
Back when the Falcons still had a team, huh, boys?
I think Michael Vick was still the quarterback.
Michael Vick was the quarterback. Work done. TJ Duckett.
Man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. It's back when they were good. One of the only times. And ever, Bob.
Question number 2.
All right, from the 314. Would you rather have a soccer team that made the playoffs or an NFL team that doesn't make the playoffs?
NFL team that doesn't make the playoffs. NFL fans don't yell at us as much as soccer fans do. That's the truth. And you know it, Jamie. That's the truth.
I couldn't disagree with you more, Anthony. Really. I can't believe you said that.
Why don't you go ahead and speak your own truth, Jamie? Go ahead.
I'd much rather have a successful soccer team than some bum NFL team that can't make the play. We live that. How bad was it?
They won like 3 games every year.
Yeah, they're terrible, Anthony. Nobody celebrated that.
I was 99.
That's okay. No,
it was 1 year.
Oh, you can't.
How was 99 and how was 2001?
They got cheated by Jamie's Patriots. I seem to remember everybody having fun then.
Anthony, a crap NFL team. Like, come on. Look what we have here now. This foundation that City SC is. It's building and the fandom.
They had a tremendous regular season. One of the best of all time.
Anthony, it's tough going to the Dome.
Disgusted with you.
And it's even tougher going to the Dome and watching a losing football team.
Well, you'd say terrible, right? And it's just for one season.
No.
What, forever?
It's every year.
Every year.
That's the way I read the question.
We'll never get then soccer. Then give me the soccer. I mean, every year the team's bad, then give me the soccer. I read it as 1 year, and then, you can move forward and then see what happens.
You read it, Anthony,
And give me the soccer.
I got a text from the 314. It could be worse. We could be the Atlanta Falcons.
It's very true.
Wow.
It's very true. No, don't interrupt him. He's right.
I didn't interrupt anything.
Yeah, no, give me the sock. Give me that soccer.
Question number 3.
From the 618, several quote-unquote new managers in Major League Baseball named recently. Who do you guys see making the most noise with his new club?
Oh, by the way, Kerry Davis is listening. He was a special teamer on that 04 Falcons team.
That was a great team.
That was a very good team. Anyways, I was just throwing Kerry a shout out.
Oh,
he's listening.
I thought there was more to it. I was waiting for the rest of the text.
No, Kerry, we love you.
Of course,
thanks
we
for
love
texting.
Kerry.
Thanks for listening.
I love that he's listening.
What's the question now? More soccer?
He's probably appalled with your take.
No, he's not. No way he is.
Who do you guys see making the most noise with his new club in terms of the new Major League Baseball managers? Yeah, it's probably Craig Counsell.
Most noise? Yeah, I would say Craig Counsell.
I don't think he's very loud, though. I've watched him, and he approaches his players very calm, cool. I don't ever see him get too heated.
Let's clarify, Jamie. I think the noise factor is not to be taken literally. It's more of a headlines. Who's going to make the most headlines in the new job?
Oh,
yeah.
All right. In that case, I
high
think
expectations, winning, things like that.
Yeah. All right, I'll go with Craig Counsell.
Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, I think you're right. I think he's a quiet guy.
Very quiet.
Very mousy.
Another shot at Anthony from the 636. We could be worse. We could have the Sharks, who got beat 20-3 in the past 2 games.
Yeah, they got their next game up here. I think it might be tonight. I'll have to take a look at the schedule. But can you imagine that, Anthony? Your team gave up 20 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, just to clarify, I don't even know who's on the Sharks. I couldn't
Neither
name.
do I.
couldn't name one player that's on the Sharks.
I
right
might
now.
as well be on the Sharks.
Is
right
Timo
now.
Meyer still on the
No, he's
Sharks?
with the Devils.
With the Devils. We just kicked his ass the other day.
I could. Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's right. Take that, Timo.
Nothing. I got nothing.
Hand pass Timo, eh? How about that there, buddy boy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I am not a Sharks fan.
Well,
at all.
You can't jump off the wagon like that. I don't like that about you.
I was nowhere close to that wagon.
No, you're jumping right off.
Jumps right off.
Jumped right off into the sea.
The good news is the Sharks have the Flyers coming up, and I don't see the Flyers scoring 10 goals. However,
they did beat Buffalo on Friday night. They spanked them.
They did.
Buffaloes?
Mm-hmm.
It's 10-1. Your San Jose Sharks.
Not my Sharks.
Man, they have some sweet jerseys, though.
They do look good losing.
They do. They certainly do.
Question number 4.
From the 937, did Anthony admit the Bengals are elite today?
I did. Boy, everybody wants to hold me accountable for things I say wrong. Nobody says a word when I stumble onto one of my greatness takes. I know it's few and far between, but give me a break on this. Everybody seems to remember that I said Cincinnati wouldn't make the playoffs. Nobody remembers that I said the Dolphins were going to win the AFC East.
Well, it's because you said that the Bengals were going to suck so many times.
No, I just said they're going to take a step back. They were going to miss the playoffs.
Marshy, you were there every single day.
I've admitted I was wrong.
Crap.
I said last week.
My God.
I called him my boogeyman. He's knocking on the bed now. He's like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with your boogeyman.
So, your boogeyman, do you hide your head and hope it doesn't exist?
No.
Even though he's tapping, or do you stare it in the face?
I stare it right in the face.
But then what's your plan?
Get eaten or whatever the boogeyman does.
Oh.
I'm not going to
stop. The boogeyman, dude? He just scare you and then just walks away?
Actually, I think, doesn't he drag you into,
under the bed?
Boogieville?
Andy's going to have a couple boogie nights coming up here.
Could be worse. Boogie, yeah. He drags you into
I feel like there
Boogieville
should
hell.
be a better name for the boogeyman than the boogeyman, because first thing that pops in my mind when you hear about the boogeyman is boogers.
Yeah.
So how can you be afraid of something that eats its own boogers?
Right.
I'm not.
It's a bad name. You're right.
I don't feel I'm not scared. Oh, hey, boogeyman.
Yeah.
Want a crusty?
Right.
Come on. Let's change that. Let's work on his marketing.
Somewhere I see an SNL skit like developing, where it's the boogeyman in therapy.
Marshy's got the historical.
So the boogeyman is a mythical creature used much like a buoy. We should just call him Buoy. The boogeyman is a mythical creature used by adults to frighten children into good behavior.
Oh, that seems like a very mentally healthy thing to do to your child. Let's horrify them with the boogeyman.
That's not the only thing we're using though as parents, so let's be honest.
I'd like to think that positive motivation is better.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Go to bed or else. Never mind the boogeyman.
Go to bed or I'll throw all of your toys in the trash. I've used that one a lot. When I'm real fed up, I just break that one out. Hey, if you don't do what I'm asking, when you fall asleep tonight, I'm throwing out all of your toys.
Oh, man.
And then I mix in and I'm going to laugh while doing it. Just a little extra.
I did that one time.
You grab the bag.
No, when the boys went to bed, I found as many of their toys that I could and put them in a big garbage bag. But I also had a garbage bag of like trash.
Yeah.
And so they
You guys are terrible.
Get up in the morning and they're like, "Where are all our toys?" I told you. I threw them away.
Yeah.
I said, "In fact, they're in that bag there." And I threw it in the thing and rolled it down to the curb.
Did they go out and get it?
They're trying to get in the trash can. They're standing on each other's shoulders. I'm like, oh my God, this is going sideways here.
It is. You start to feel bad. Yeah. Madeline, my daughter,
they're still in therapy. They're fine.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're good kids. Yeah. Madeline just kind of looks at me and she's like, man, okay. Killian starts freaking out. Screaming.
618 says, I just threatened my kids with Cardinals tickets.
It's not a bad call, especially when they're not going to put a decent product on the field. More of that and more of your mic drops next on 101 ESPN. When it comes to the Missouri Athletic Club, man, they always have stuff going on. I notice they have a Thanksgiving dinner to go. You can order Thanksgiving. It's a meal from the West Clubhouse, and boom, you're set up for Thanksgiving. That's just one of the many ways that the Missouri Athletic Club tries to involve you within the club and give you, something that maybe you weren't thinking of before. Maybe you don't have an opportunity to cook Thanksgiving this year. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to cook, period. Let the MAC culinary team take care of it for you. Missouri Athletic Club, I usually go down to the West Clubhouse, but the downtown spot's great for events. But when it comes to working out, getting ready for the show, you love using the business center. I've held meetings and stuff there too. It's great. I love going to the Missouri Athletic Club. It's my MAC.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues pick up 2 wins this weekend, defeating the Devils 4-1 and the Canadiens 6-3. They'll be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. City SC lost 2-1 to Sporting KC yesterday. Their season comes to a close. And Mizzou lost to Georgia on Saturday, 30-21. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Again, it's free. You can find the full show there. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Jamie, this is Ed from Illinois. Lifelong Cardinal fan. I'm 66 years old, and I'm not going through what I went through last year. If Mo does not increase the salary and bring some pitchers in, I'm done with them. I'm out.
There you go. That was Ed with a special message for Jamie about how he's done.
I don't blame you, Ed.
He's not going there.
Sorry for your pain, Ed. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Got you, bro.
So we asked for your mic drops following the tweets that were released by John Denton of MLB.com on John Mozeliak saying that, the payroll is about the same. It'll be about the same. Want to be prudent this year. I don't know what's different about last year. I feel like they've been prudent with their spending for, I don't know, 15,
payroll
16
went up
years.
last year, Anthony. That was
Shut
wild.
your mouth.
It was reckless, quite honestly.
Let's hear from Timothy next. Timothy left us a mic drop.
I took that as a swipe at the fans. We do just for the fan revenue. Well, guess what? If you actually put a product out there that we want to see, instead of doing the same old walk it back crap like you do every offseason, you guys talk a big game leading in the offseason, then you walk it back like now, we wouldn't have to not go to the games to send that message. That's on Mo, but that's on the Cardinals, but they're trying to push it back on the fans, trying to make the fans look bad.
That's impossible. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Timothy, but that's impossible. It's impossible. This fan base, you cannot make look bad when it comes to supporting the team. From a viewership standpoint, from a gate revenue standpoint, this was the first time they finally said, this product is so bad, I'm not going. And it still took them quite a while. It took them quite a while to stop going to the games, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Other fan bases that are not as loyal would have dove out in like June, early June. Yeah, this team's not good enough. Product's not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time. And that, what Timothy was talking about, was a reaction to like the expanded thoughts of, well, they have to adjust for the gate revenue and all that. Look, you're a business. I get it. Jamie, we've had this conversation before. You're a business. You're allowed to make money. You're allowed to make money how you want to make money. This isn't the way to do it, though. You're going to lose more money. You're going to lose more money if you go with your internal options, and those internal options don't wind up being like Bob Gibson. All right? I'm serious.
I know.
If your internal options,
but you need more than one Bob Gibson. That's
absolutely.
The problem.
Yeah. Seriously. If your internal options don't wind up being great, like if you just do Sonny Gray, we're just going to do one signing. Sonny Gray, we're good. And then you go with internal options, you're going to get your ass kicked again.
Yeah. Your signings have to be Sonny Gray and.
You need 3 starters.
I know.
And then have the internal options. I would even be fine with if they have a budget, whatever the DeWitts say the budget is, Jamie, if they sign 3 starters and then they're like, look, we're kind of tapped, we stretched our budget to get these 3 starters because we knew how important it was to build a starting rotation, and then they went with internal options for the bullpen, I'd be okay with that.
I think you have plenty of internal options for the bullpen.
So do I.
Including some starters that could go to the bullpen.
Yes.
Or possible starters.
But you need to take the sledgehammer out when it comes to the starting rotation. I wouldn't even settle for 3. You want to go out and get like 3 and then somebody that's on a 1-year prove-it deal. We're all assuming that Steven Matt's going to stay healthy next year. He has yet to do so in a Cardinals uniform.
No, it's tough. And
that is what your internal options are for,
well,
Jamie.
and you've also had the polar opposite pitching from him.
Yes.
So you've had the injuries, and you've had the bad, and then the good. But then the good got fizzled out because of an injury. Because he was pitching really well when he got injured.
Yeah.
But again, got injured.
Yes. Let's hear from Kevin, who left us mic drop on the Mo situation.
Hey guys, Kevin here. Reacting to Mosaic's comments regarding the payroll, and if we are to assume, take it at its face value, that payroll is not going up, I would have 2 questions for Bill DeWitt at Winter Warm-Up. My first question would be, did you enjoy seeing all the empty seats at Busch Stadium in the second half of the season? My second question would be, do you see yourselves, based on all the moves this offseason, do you see yourselves as contenders? Those would be my 2 questions. I'm sure the answer to the second one would have to be some sort of a yes. But it's just an unserious ball club if that is the case. And boy, we're going to need City to pull off another marvelous season next year because it's going to be a long Cardinal season. Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kevin. Thanks for your mic drop. Thanks for the compliment. All right, I'll say this. This one's easy, guys. Forget what Mo says. It is all about what is done this offseason. That's it. Like, we're going to talk about the comments. We'll continue to talk about what is said. But all that matters is what this front office, and it's not just Mo, it's the DeWitts too, what this front office does in the offseason. That's it. What they physically do. What they say, clearly this is not a team that wins the press conference. So
what gave you that idea?
Years of research.
God. Maybe that's what they'll do is they'll hire somebody to speak to the media.
Maybe.
It probably costs too much money.
Or just don't. Just go
They'll
the
sign
route.
him and not a pitcher.
Yeah. Hey, we went with this guy. We got the motivational speaker guy instead of
Is that Bill Shakespeare?
I can't see too good. It's all about what they do, period. All right. I'm sure we'll have a lot more comments and stuff like that tomorrow. We love the participation in the show. Thank you for the mic drops. We view this as a therapy session at times, so love that you participated as well. We will wrap up the show. What you missed, criticisms, compliments next on 101 ESPN.
All right, are you thinking about remodeling a kitchen or a bathroom, but you're not quite sure who to turn to, where to go to, all those things? Well, let me help you out. Head down to E&B Granite. They are the best in the business, and their showroom is fantastic. It's located at 6135 Manchester Avenue. When you walk in, please tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. The representatives are so good at what they do. And maybe you know exactly what you're trying to accomplish with your kitchen or your bathroom. If that's the case, great. They're going to hold your hand and just walk you through it and get you taken care of. But where they really shine is when you don't really know what you're looking to do. And that's where I was because I knew I wanted to upgrade the kitchen, but I didn't know how and didn't know what to purchase. And they were awesome. They showed me a bunch of different countertops. They had granite, they had quartz, they had marble, soapstone, cabinets, all this. It was great, too, because you walk in the back of the warehouse and you can walk through the aisles of the countertops that are sitting there. So, you get a good look at exactly what it is that you're going to put into your home, whether it's your kitchen or your bathroom. And then once you figure it all out, the process is easy. They measure everything and they install it, and then they answer any questions that you have. They do such an amazing job at E&B Granite. So again, if you're remodeling a kitchen or a bathroom, call them at 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300, or visit them at enbgranite.com.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or 101, the 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. What are you laughing at here?
When it rains, it pours, Anthony. When it rains, it pours.
What do you got?
Tweeted out 1 minute ago. Former St. Louis Cardinals player and bench coach Skip Schumacher is a finalist for NL Manager of the Year in his first season.
Salt in the wounds.
With the Marlins. He's up against Craig Counsell and Brian Snitker.
Wow.
Good luck, Skip.
Good luck indeed. He should win.
Imagine if you had a guy like that.
Well, you did.
What?
Yep. So we talked about John Mozeliak's comments to John DeWitt today.
What?
Spent some time and took your mic drops. John Denton. Did I say John DeWitt?
John DeWitt. I was like,
I had the DeWitts on my head. Sorry. Yeah.
You're all right.
I can't believe it. I still can't believe that those were the comments that were made. Maybe we got something wrong, Jamie. We've been wrong before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots.
We've been wrong before. I also talked about the Blues winning the 2 games over the weekend. Some changes that Jamie saw, or at least the differences in the Blues victories over the weekend compared to the previous 8 games. Talked about the Blues line combinations and took some Blues cues as well. Played narrative or reality. Our NFL Week 9 takeaways. Marsh says the Dolphins are basically frauds. I told Marsh that was a him problem. It was a you problem for Marsh. Also talked about Mizzou's loss to Georgia, but kind of how close this program is when it comes to hanging with Georgia, and you got tangible evidence here that there's some improvement under Eli Drinkwitz. So that's all available on the mic on the podcast as well. It's the last segment of the day.
Well said, Anthony.
I'm struggling. Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, that podcast brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
That's correct.
Josh Dobbs.
Yes. Josh Dobbs.
Oh, wow. Anthony, I think it's because it's dark out. It's throwing you off.
It's throwing me way off.
This is always the time of year that is different for us because we usually leave and it's still nice out. Yeah.
Nope.
And then we
Pitch
look
black.
outside and it's really dark.
Yeah. Mercury must be in retrograde.
And soon it'll be really cold and dark. Boy, those are good times.
Uh-huh. Anyways, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, from the 636, man, backtracks on calling FSU smoke and mirrors, and then has the audacity to say that's a you problem to all of us.
And I call Arthur Smith arrogant. Pot kettle. Yeah, no.
Speaking of arrogant, the Brewers ownership quote are talking about losing Craig Counsell. We lost Craig, but I've reflected on this, Craig has lost us and he's lost our community. It's a really special place to be.
Oh, wow.
Hey. Okay, buddy. Okay, Mark and Tennessee.
That is impressive there.
Antanasio, that's it.
Anta not going to be here anymore.
Anyways, just thought you guys would enjoy that.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that was good.
We had Janet leave us a mic drop. We came in with a segment with a Janet mic drop, and you guys mentioned that she should have a red phone.
Yeah.
That, or at least be on the line. Mo should have a red phone that anytime Janet calls, it goes directly to him, and he picks up and she tells him what to do.
That's correct.
The 618 texted in saying, "So should I." Janet is correct.
Okay.
All right.
We'll get the 618 his own phone. I think he should have a headset, Jamie, where anytime he wants to dial in the Mo, he could just put that headset on.
It's a great idea.
Like the one Bruce Arians used to have.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
He wanted to communicate with his coaching staff.
Well, when he was calling all those great plays.
Exactly.
That's Super Bowls.
That's kind of how I'm thinking.
The one that
the 618 should have. The headset, mic, boom, right to Mo. So that Mo knows.
Like on the fly, too.
Exactly.
Much like Kevin O'Connell when he was giving Josh Dobbs the plays, taking on.
How many do you have over there?
He's got a lot.
How many do you have?
He's got a
over
lot.
there?
I mean, and rightfully so.
We were talking
They're
about
going to lose to the Cardinals, on Sunday. They are.
Well, the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
The St. Louis Cardinals ain't beating them. Are you kidding me? Not with that pitching staff. That payroll.
Anthony, you were talking about the boogeyman earlier.
Yeah.
We talked about Boogieville. From the 314, Boogieville sounds blanking awesome.
It's amazing what we get into, the discussions. Pretty crazy.
And then Thanks Dad said, did Stalter just become the boogeyman right before our ears?
What? Did you pick your nose or something?
No, but you guys were talking about throwing away your kids' toys.
Oh, yeah. What you said was horrible, Anthony.
I got all of that from you. I literally got the idea about the trash bag from you.
Yeah, it's true.
You did the whole dad thing, too. You go, this is what you got to do. You take a trash bag and you start putting the kids' toys in the trash bag, and then you take it out to the garage, and you don't throw them away, but you give them the illusion. I've done that.
You know what's really the next level for that, by the way? Is you hold the trash bag and you make them put the toys in the trash bag.
Just marching them to the plank. There you go.
You did this.
Oh!
He's already in his
What?
hand.
That was my
Okay.
hand.
Did you sure it wasn't
No.
any
Something else?
faces or something?
Nah. We only do that once in a while.
Hit your head?
Yep. Bang. Yes, it was.
We usually get mic drops from John Fozalok. Today we got a text from the Air Comfort Service text line. This is from Fo. Tell that doofus on the mic drop to turn his blinker off. Did you not see my legit acquisition today? Dude is a future Hall of Famer. Just wait and see.
Yeah, the Cardinals did make a move. Got a pitcher, guys, from the Mariners.
Oh!
Yeah. Not Gilbert.
Oh, well, it must
or
be
George Kirby or
no.
anybody resembling a good pitcher. Some guy we've never heard of, but Mo did make the move.
Promising. Anthony's a young guy, 29.
Yep. I was about to say, late 20s. That's when normally you see guys turn into all-stars. If you're Adolis Garcia or Randy Arozarena.
Sweet spot,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yep. All right, that'll do it for us. Jets, Chargers, pregame starting at 6:30 after instant replay. Jamie, you don't even know what to root for tonight, but it's Jamie versus Kerry when it comes to getting shot.
I don't even know
the
what the hell
tiebreaker.
what the criteria is.
You'll figure it out. We'll see you tomorrow, too. See you.